Or if you just got like single phase, you got hot and neutral, and it just alternates back and forth 60 times a second.
60 hertz, jumping gigawatts. I heard a YouTube's on the YouTube hieroglyphs way back in that. This is my 10 years plus maybe. And there was a guy interviewing another guy, and he was saying that something about the power converters from Westinghouse. Westinghouse designed the original ones, or even now somehow, like that the technology was actually disguised in such a way because it like all the old power gauges were like running through, I think, like an aluminum disc or something like that. Like it would run all the house current through that first, like as a primary to like understand like how much current's running through it. And something in that, like, this guy explained that like the lines, the power lines themselves that are hanging in the air are actually getting like charged in the air actually during the day, and it mitigates how much power is actually needed to be put into the lines, and then like it reduces it, like kind of it fills them up sort of. So like and then there was something else like where that power
it's called inductance.
Okay, right on. Cool. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty interesting story. Basically, the technology worked a little bit differently than anybody at the time was actually thinking, or might even currently think, and it might still go on like that.
Yeah, it's why that AC was invented. That's why that it was a big deal, because DC is what Thomas Edison invented. Well, somebody under him invented, and with DC, the inductance is a lot higher, and you have to have stepper stations to up the voltage over and over and over every couple miles to keep your voltage up high enough to go any distance. With AC, you don't have to have that. You can go long distances without having to have step stations to up the voltage back up. But you do lose over inductance through any given wire. Some wires are better than others.
Okay. Is there a reason why we use 60 hertz as a quantization?
I don't know where now that pulses? I don't know how we came up like Europe uses 50 hertz. I don't know who decided on that or where that came from. I don't know how all that came about. I never really looked up how that.
That's the speed of this is the speed of the alternator in revolutions per second versus RPM.
Yeah, I know what caused it, but where did what
RPM.
How did they? Yeah, but what I'm saying is because like Europe uses 50, America uses 60. Who decided the speed? You know what I mean? Because I know how it's created. I just never know who decided originally on, the speed that they wanted to use or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. No, Tesla's early experiments were, he was doing 60 hertz or whatnot, but he went to higher frequencies later.
On airplanes, they use 400s.
Here's this giant Tesla coil. I posted it in the chat, by the way. There's a picture of it.
Some military gear uses 600 hertz for better switch life and all that good stuff.
Why would that be better switch life?
Well, there is per second you have more points along the sine wave that it crosses no power, 0 power. So you have
10x resolution.
You get less arcing. You get less arcing when the contacts break. Because whenever a contact breaks, you get arcing. So unless it's a quenched fucking switch and all that, but yeah, you don't see any of that.
This is an example of using a lot of brain power to deal with a substandard situation.
No, this is an example of physics.
No, the only reason they have to do that kind of what do you call it, Cyrus? Like mitigation for maintenance, is because they're using a substandard power system.
That's
But-
according to Tesla's words. Yes, it is
like,
substandard. Correct.
it's like they got the tower generator or whatever, the whole transmission system in the air, all that. Okay, but still, we don't have like a way to actually like say I want to power this coffee mug and make it hot, and I want to draw some electricity. Like I don't have a way to like chip it and like say like, okay, energy go here. You know, there's no way to path it. Is all I'm saying. And
Yeah.
aside from like the coil to coil stuff,
There
which I
should
think
be.
is really interesting that Tesla did, like the 2 coil system where it's just basically beaming, the energy through the Tesla coil, the flat coil, not the fun lightning bolt Tesla coil, but the flat one is really cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Tesla-
The bifilar. Talking about the bifilar coil.
bifilar. Yeah, bifilar, and I
yeah,
think I've even seen some
dual wound.
trifilers out there. Pretty interesting
during
stuff.
during Tesla's day, they were limited on like building wire was expensive. You know, it wasn't like nowadays. It was a lot more expensive to make long strands of wire and stuff. It was just you're talking about more primitive time back then. And Tesla knew from his small scale experiments that he could pass electricity through the air from one point to another. Well, what he wanted to do was scale that up to an enormous size and have these giant power plants to where everybody could just have a basic antenna on their house and you would
Yeah.
get wireless power.
Well, if I'm
That's
saying like
what he wanted to do.
if
but
you
he
did have
couldn't
the
make it
power
happen.
plant, like you got like a Wardenclyffe, and then would the idea be like I'm going to build a giant pancake projector and then a receiver somewhere else, and I'll just I won't run power lines; it'll just be all in the air. That kind of idea. That's what I
Yeah.
would theorize, but I ain't Tesla. You know.
Yeah, he couldn't make it happen because one, it was ludicrously expensive, and number two, it's a hard ass thing to generate enough electricity to pass it through the air at distances like that. You're talking about you would have lightning bolts jumping from that thing to people's homes. Literal lightning bolts.
I think you would
No,
have
you wouldn't. No, you
local.
wouldn't. Why would you have lightning
No.
bolts?
To generate enough power to
It-
jump a distance that far would be an insane amount of electricity.
Hmm.
It's not the
No,
same. It's not the same electricity though. This is the problem, right? These impulses are not barred by anything. They can pass through
Dude,
insulators.
this whole idea you've got of this different type of electricity does not exist. I'm sorry.
It does exist. I guess you just don't know
What do you
about it. I
think
don't
that
know.
neutrino thingy in Antarctica is?
Oh.
That is
Oh,
Tesla
I love
technology.
neutrinos.
Longitudinal wavefronts going to the ground.
Look, I posted a PDF that you can read.
Yeah, electricity is literally the flow of electrons.
But
What's an electron?
Yeah, well, I don't know about them apples, man.
Yeah, and what is the difference between AC and DC? Alternating currents means that it is going in 2 directions. Direct currents means it is only going in 1 direction.
Yes, but it's not going in two different currents at the same wire at the same time. That's why you have to have two different wires. Have you ever laid your hand on AC and laid your hand on DC? Because I have multiple times.
one of them is hotter.
I know the feel of AC and I know the feel of DC.
Yeah, but it's
One of them makes your
alternating
teeth
current.
jig-
It means it
Yeah,
changes direction, and that's why you have
neither
that
of
dip
which.
in that
Yes,
current.
yes,
Neither of
because it's
which
the
are what
generator
Tesla
used
put
to
into
create it.
operation. Neither of
Yes,
which are what
and
Tesla
Tesla
put into
doesn't use
operation.
them.
Yeah. I guess it's really that DC feels just hot, and you're like, I'm burning now, and then I think the AC is like,
Yeah,
I'm having a
AC,
seizure
you
right now.
literally feel
Why do you
why
think they called it Hertz and not Tesla?
Well, it does hurt. It hurts more with the AC than the DC
They called it Hertz because the name of the guy's last name was Hertz.
because it
You
feels so
guys really
good.
need
Yeah,
to read
but
up.
it's frequency based. You get up into the higher frequencies, you can't even feel it. So
Yeah, but
Well, it'll burn your skin and
name
all that.
comes from the last name of the guy that
Oscillation.
discovered it.
I'm aware of this.
Yeah, we are. Heinrich Hertz.
Also, it's
But
true.
there is what Elijah's talking about is legit though. The form of electricity in Tesla's own handwriting. He said, "I have moved on beyond alternating currents in the radio." So you have to read his works to understand what he moved on to. Right,
Yeah,
so
he was
moved on
trying to
beyond
use
radio and he
static
was working on other
electricity.
stuff.
He had moved on. He was trying to move on past wiring.
No,
He was trying
moved
to
on
use
to
static
harmonics.
electricity.
It's not static. It wasn't static by our definition
He's
of
trying
static.
to he's trying to electrocute the freaking air, dude. That's static electricity.
Well,
No.
the air does carry
So-
current, so
because-
that works.
Yes, but he was
He was
trying to do it
sending
in
his
enough
radio.
to light, like to power an entire house, not just to make a quick little flash between 2 points.
He was sending it through the earth, not the earth.
I've read all of this
Sure.
shit. I've read all about this. I got a book
was
sitting
he
up
run-
here on my
Takes
shelf
the
that
current out of the
is about
sky
Tesla
and
and
send it through the ground. That's what he did.
For
Right.
fuck's
So,
sake.
so you're
You
saying
haven't read. You
it's
haven't read enough
longitudinal
because your
through the
understanding
ground.
is not
Is-
sufficient.
Is it a wire pair
Right.
then?
I'm an
that the
electrician, but
ground
I don't understand electricity. Right.
that the ground
It's not the
acts?
same thing, dude. It's literally
ground
not the
acts as-
same thing. Sorry, Snax. Go ahead.
That over a distance that the ground and the air act like a pair of wires.
That's what he was trying to make it, but in order to make that happen, you have to have so much electricity. It like quadruples every couple feet that you have to have the amount of power to keep it going. It becomes absolutely astronomical.
Well,
after
how
just
do
a little
telegraphs
given
work then?
distance. Because
Like-
they use radio frequency,
but-
not electricity.
But didn't Dollard say like they
That's
basically
light.
didn't use,
That's not electrons.
But I'm
It's
saying didn't-
photons.
I'm gonna get another cup of coffee. Y'all are heated.
Well, don't say silly stuff.
I'm talking
You're
about
the
how
one
it,
saying silly stuff,
What
dude.
you saying,
You're-
Snax?
I was just saying, like, doesn't that apply to how Dollard would have thought about like how like a telegraph worked? Basically, that the air and the ground implicitly are a pair of like wires, if you like, parallel wire.
That's when they went to the single wire. When they went to an Earth connection, and the physicist said it would not work. The Earth would absorb all the electricity, and it works just fine. It's called the grounded circuit. Then some of the station were reportedly taking off the batteries, just somehow running off the electricity that's in the Earth. So that's also in the newspapers.
Okay, that's
Sorry,
that's the
Huh.
origin of what that is. Thanks,
You
Cyrus.
said radio.
It was
though. You didn't say-
DC. No, telegraph is DC. They ran off the batteries. It's an electromagnetic coil, right? We go
Yeah.
back to Henry, Mr. Henry, and what's his name? Henry's the one that wound the coils.
And a micro Henry, his
Sorry,
little
do you
mini-me.
reckon?
Well, that's why
You
they
reckon the
give him the. Go ahead.
You reckon the physicists thought that about ground because they assumed that the sky wasn't the other side of the Gaussian surface or the Gaussian plates, whatever.
I think they just assumed it because it's so massive, just based on the mass. They were like, it's just going to absorb all the energy. I mean,
But
pretty
surely
reasonable assumption.
that has to do with them assuming that that's the only part to play in the whole system. I think because they had no idea where they were, they didn't have a proper conception of what the ground was in relation to. So that's why they made that mistake.
I think so.
Yeah, but
'Cause
if you
like
look at
when,
what electricity is, it is the hybrid of the positive and the negative, basically. So in that way, it's connecting the negative ground with the positive of the sky. It's a unification of both. You need both to create that current in between.
Well, the sky's not positive. It's
think-
it's clouds creating static charge that builds up over time, and eventually it pops to the ground because you get a buildup again of electrons in the clouds, and they pop real hard to the ground all of a sudden. That's what we see as lightning.
Electricity being the flow of electrons can be disproven with experiment.
Right.
Yeah, it goes up
Yeah.
before it goes down anyway.
There's ground to
Yeah,
cloud.
it's a chain.
lightning too.
There is no flow. It's a chain.
Have
it's
you
a
ever seen that,
connection
Zephyr?
between them.
Yeah. Very rare though. It's gotten to be more frequent, supposedly, since the magnetosphere is weakening.
Just on a off idea that Henry Poincaré actually had a SI unit named after him. It's really good that he didn't, because we could never pronounce it. Thanks.
I think that ball lightning's getting caught. I don't know if it's more frequent now or if it's just everybody's got phones now and people are actually able to capture it easier now. I think before everybody had a
My
camera in
grandma
their
had one in
hand,
the
it was
house
hard. My grandma said the
when I
same
was
thing.
a
My
kid.
grandma and grandpa said the same thing too. They said they had it's probably the same thing you're getting ready to say. That's cool.
Yeah, they opened the window when the thing went out.
Well, my grandma
That's
said that it
crazy.
blew her TV up. They said that it came through and she said it looked like a ball. She didn't say ball. She said it looked like a floating light that come through and during like a storm. But she said it blew their TV up.
Like a will-o'-the-wisp.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a
yeah, my
like I
grandma
guess
said looked like a little sun.
there's something about just that we have I guess messed up the natural balance of how radio waves and energy naturally occurs here, that certain weather conditions we don't really get as much, something like almost like a static, like electric snow fall, that those types of things, or like electro fog, those types of things, or St. Elmo's fire, which Darwin described on the Beagle.
What is
like
that?
like a ethereal sort of fire that looks like it's happening on things that are raised above ground. So anything like a shovel would appear to be on fire, like a blue flame. It's like it's sort of a coronal effect, I think, that just naturally happens, but it's got to be really dark, so no artificial lights, and then what I mean. And these things happen, I guess, because of like periodic like static imbalances where there's not like a lightning strike that actually happens, like the oversaturation of like statics that may happen in certain places, but we because there are so many things that ground out it's very rare to see it in the civilized world. What do you think? Like there are classifications of weather that would almost appear to be like magical because you've never seen it before, but they don't really occur very often, or certainly not in like cities and things like that.
Yeah, they have like electrical discharge phenomenon, like sprites and things like that too. They're kind of like auroras, but they happen above storms and things. You could see them sometimes. They're different colors. There's green ones and purple ones.
Yeah, but those sprites start at about 90 kilometers above the surface, around 100. But we have in our atmosphere, we have a sodium metal layer in our sky, just about 80 to 140 kilometers around. And that is exactly the Kármán line. And that is exactly where we see those sprites and everything happening, that discharge.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's like almost like the Earth is one of those salt bulbs.
Why do you assume it's a discharge?
The buildup. I don't
Energy
know.
cruise.
If you look at
The phenomena that you're witnessing, why do you assume it's a discharge?
it's a
That's what people
it's a
that
build
It builds up.
go ahead.
In
Yeah.
a cruise,
it's a buildup of charge,
just a
and
principle,
it's
I
the
think, of
discharge when it's when it's at the top. So it has a maximum and a minimum, I believe, and that's why we see that charge and that discharge. It has a baseline.
Yeah, but why would you not? Why would you not think that it's a manifestation rather than a discharge? Someone like it could be. It could,
Could be both.
Yeah, but if you look,
you're assuming that it's happening in like independently.
no, I think it is
But
acting like
but like
two Gaussian plates, because we have
but
the
what are you
oceans,
actually
which
witnessing?
is a sodium layer, and we have that sodium layer in the
But the
sky,
phenomena
and that is
itself,
basically two Gaussian plates you have.
the phenomena itself. What are you actually witnessing? Describe it.
It's
The
the
phenomenon
buildup
itself
of
is debated,
charge
man.
Well, just
I'm sorry, go
by
ahead.
displacement. It's more like a static thing, because if you go up in the tropic zone, the higher you go up, the more static it gets.
Okay, maybe it's what Cyrus said is the key point here. I think people are
Are you talking about
imposing
lightning?
their
Or what
they're
exactly?
talking about some rather interesting phenomena. What do they call it? Ball lightning and these things. But
Oh,
it's
that's
interesting
okay.
that
That's super interesting.
I guess just like, yeah,
to me,
different
to me, to
conditions,
me,
sprites and all that.
to me, to assume that it's a discharge is like basically before you've ever even investigated it, you're already telling it what it is. I think you're looking at it slightly backwards. I wouldn't assume it's a discharge. I think that could be an error in gaining a better understanding on what's going on.
Even a simple lightning electrical discharge, from positive to negative, it is contrary to what people believe, according to J.J. Thomson, of course. It's
Right.
backwards to what you see. So you
Well, no,
see the
'cause I
vertical
think
line, let's say sky and ground, like
think-
two capacitor plates, yeah?
I think people have
What's that?
caught this on Super Flow, right? The way the actual path goes. Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
the path, but the theory behind what's happening, right? This jumping electron shit, we disprove using capacitors
yeah.
too. So we
I understand that,
move
but-
beyond jumping electrons and try to actually understand what's going on. Sure, it's electronic. There is an electron phenomenon involved, but there's something that precedes the electron formation or the electrons jumping. Same thing in the cathode.
Well, I actually posted one of the extracts from Jerry's book, and it goes: electrostatic charge was equated with ether pressure. Electrostatic fields were viewed as rectified streams of ether, the dielectric and the dielectricity, of which so many now speak. So it's actually getting the foundation right and understanding what the manifestation is that you're witnessing.
That's what I think the ether
but if
could
you look
be,
at
is electric fields.
But would ether
if
like?
you look at what
Go ahead, Chris.
if you look at what current really is, if you look at all equations surfaces having a discharge on top of them, and when you have counter-rotating fields of Tesla that is has a turn towards each other in one direction, which generates that current in between, but basically that is negative charge being pushed together and becoming positive.
Or neutral charge, rather, probably. Everybody says negative, but it's not really negative.
Yeah, but if you look at the fourth phase of water and the exclusion zone, that is a separation of discharge and charge. And that is basically the same thing as what we see in the dielectric of the magnetic. Everybody always thinks that the real force comes from the magnetic, but the real force of comes from the dielectric, not the magnetic.
Is there an analog that we can say, or is it like that ethereal concepts also are under the domain of barometric pressure, that there are ethereal effects that occur within certain pressure
I would say it's the other way around. I
situations?
think it's the ether. Well, I think modality, to use Dyslow's terminology. That is what results in the pressure. Because basically, the way I view it is that the ether is the foundation of the whole system. So any particular subsystem within the system, be it a weather event or whatever, is controlled by that. Do you understand what I'm saying, Snax?
I don't know. It depends if you have an idea that like the ether is a type of like lattice substructure that's beneath everything,
basically.
or if you have a different idea of it. But if the first thing that I mentioned is an idea, then the amount of load that's on that collective lattice would set up a conditionality. And I'm just saying, like within the bounds of that you have like a pocket of a type of energy charge, and then beyond that a different one. And so these differences are all about like how nature tries to resolve these differences, and so we see these effects as a result.
That's what I think.
Yeah, but if you look at nature itself, you have pressure, and that goes with high pressure and at
According
our
to
Earth. That
according to
the
Tesla,
pressure at the Earth is its highest, but at the higher you go up, the lesser pressure you get. So
Yep.
there should be an area with high pressure for the outside barrier. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that density tower building up.
Snax, according to Tesla, the whole density and buoyancy thing is as a result of the pressure of the ether. That's how we have this cohesive and obviously directional system.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think-
So like barometric pressure, like it must have some kind of quantifying bounds that it's moving in, where if you would say ether pressure is. So like higher barometric pressure, locally, right? I mean, like, oh, maybe it's going to rain. You know what I mean? Well, if it does rain, there's going to be some ether flow. You know what I mean? Some plasma arcs are going to happen. You know, maybe some thunder. Different kinetic things are going to go on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cole.
That's why I was saying that I think that if there is an ether, that it would be the fields of things, because you have magnetic fields, you have electrical fields, and even though, like I said, the electrons flow through the wire when electricity moves, the energy is carried by the fields down the wire. It's not, the electrons it ain't like physical little balls bouncing off each other that we use to carry the energy. The energy itself is the fields, and it's the same with magnetic fields. And I think if there is an ether, it would be the energy fields that we seem to have everywhere.
I think the problem was in the misunderstanding where, the modern textbooks, they will say the energy is in the field bound by the wires, but the electrons also move in the wires. Well, according to J.J. Thomson, so you have the appearance of electrons moving in the wire because you have these Faraday tubes, as he called them, that are so you got the static field and then the electric field. So the magnetic field and the electric field. And the magnetic field is concentric circles around the wire, around the conductor, and the electric field goes from radial lines from conductor to conductor. Okay, so these radial lines, as the entire fabric, this XY fabric, moves in between the wires, it's terminated, right? According to J.J. Thomson, Nobel Prize for discovering the electron, it is one of the terminals of that bungee or that Faraday tube. This dielectric tube, or one line of dielectric, line, or whatever you want to call it. One end is negative, right? And this conductor, call it electron. The other end is positive of the same wire, call it the proton. They're just terminals of this Faraday tube. So erasing the Faraday tubes and just talking about the terminals, well, you deleted half the picture, and you will need it later when you get into these advanced electrical transmissions, because they're non-electromagnetic transmissions. And this is where it's like, what? It's like, yes, they're non-electromagnetic transmissions. You can call it electric transmission. And only Tesla is able to do that. Dollard replicated, of course, all this. But yeah.
There's an interesting quote.
Go ahead.
Tesla stated that all kinetic energy was ultimately traceable directly back to the etheric atmosphere. Etheric movements provoke the inertia in nature. In exploring the ultra-gaseous etheric medium, Tesla produced a method of bombarding various materials with intensely concentrated etheric streams. Fluid dynamics, basically. If you're not understanding the fluid dynamic aspect of this, then
What's an
you're not
intensely
talking- you're not
concentrated
talk-
fluid stream of plasma?
Say that again.
What does it mean by intensely concentrated fluid streams?
I think you said intensely concentrated etheric streams.
I'm sorry.
Would it be a
So
lightning
the way-
bolt?
Yeah, so the way he describes it, right? Because obviously I'm just reading one extract from the book, right? The way he describes it is that the etheric, the manifestations he could get of etheric streams were basically like high pressure gas. So he was able to produce this in his earlier experiments. He was getting effects that he didn't understand because he was stood behind glass and copper and different insulators, and he was still getting struck with the effects. He was like, "This thing is passing through. What's going on?" So he was like, "This thing is beyond what I was dealing with before. And then later he tried to do. He did like the exploding wire thing, right? He didn't intend to, but the wire was just completely evaporating. So he's like, okay, there's something going on here. And the bit I'm getting to, so you can picture it in your mind, because I think it's really important, is he was able to manifest these streams that he's talking about under oil through like a metal, like just a metal rod or whatever. And it the same way you would get off gassing, but then it would be a limitation. It wasn't that. It was continuous streams of gas coming out. So he realized then that what I'm dealing with is as he said right earlier on, is ultra gaseous etheric medium. So it's a fluid, but it's the base fluid that sustains all of reality. Effect. Go ahead. I think you had some problem.
So is
I
that
think
like
he
the
just was dealing with super high voltage electricity like we do with high voltage welding stuff today, and he didn't quite understand what he was dealing with yet.
What you saying, Zephyr?
is that
That's
like
not
the Z machine? Because I live in Albuquerque, and at the Air Force Base they have this thing that's called the Z machine, and it's like this chamber that's filled with oil, and they create like lightning plasma arcs in it. It's pretty crazy.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the same, but
When
I
he was
posted
saying,
the PDF for where you can read about this. I can post it again.
when he says streams, though, I don't think he meant like fluid. I think he meant like large bolts of electricity.
No, he clearly
No, he meant
differentiated between
fluids,
the
and he
two.
was talking more about. He was more talking about the superfluid state of gas.
I was pretty clear with what I said. It's written down in the PDF.
Tesla was super clear that this is not blue electric discharge as we know it, because this stuff is non-harmful. It was like white, gaseous, I don't know,
Like
fiery stuff.
Super high voltage is white. It's not blue.
No, but if you
it's
read what Tesla wrote about it,
frequency-based.
he knew the difference. You know what I mean, like, this is the guy that gave us this entire power grid. Like, and when he notes the difference, it's like, okay, I only know of the regular blue high voltage discharge, blue because of the nitrogen in the air. The composition of the gases will give it the color, so it doesn't matter really. But what he noted was white, and it was non-harmful. And if you do this experiment with just regular electricity, right, and not the high disruptive discharge that he was doing, you're not going to get this gaseous stream that comes out of the wire under like an oil jar or something compatible.
Yeah, Zephyr, or however you say your name. I posted the PDF. I think the part that I mentioned is in the, I think, second chapter, early part of the chapter.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
read what you posted there, or what you put in there. It says Tesla stated all kinetic energy was ultimately traceable directly back to the etheric atmosphere. What he called in his book up there on my shelf, what he knows as etheric atmosphere, is basically static electricity. It's electrified air is what he known as etheric atmosphere, and that's why I said that when it says it produced a method for bombarding various materials with intensely concentrated etheric streams. That's why I said it's basically really, really high voltage arcs is what he was dealing with.
No, it's not the same thing. You're confusing. Syrus already mentioned this. It seems as if you're just not willing to engage. I don't know. You don't have to talk about it now, but at
Because
least
I'm not
go
agreeing with
it's
you.
just,
I'm not willing to engage. I got you.
No,
It's
because
okay.
you're taking our words and making them mean something, or what the original author said. It doesn't make sense.
Like, like the magnetic field is fibrous in nature. Like, you can do simple experiments to prove this to yourself, and it's like quantized. Okay, there's no half fiber anywhere in space. So the electric field, or the dielectric, okay, is the same exact way, except that they're longitudinal fibers. They're not radial. They're radial fibers. They're not concentric fibers. Cool. So they're just different in geometry, and they produce similar effects. Well, you need both of them to produce what we call electricity. and they're both conjugates of one another. They deny one another, but we can go through like mathematically and simple demonstrations to prove how one is like spatial, right, and other one is like inner spatial. You know, if you want to call it.
got a toy.
It's just, I mean, it's just like you guys denied, whoever it was, one or two of you guys denied electrons existed, and yet, with modern technology, we know so well how to manipulate electrons and what they are that we build electron guns that we put inside of CRT televisions, fire them at a phosphorus screen, steer them with magnetic fields in order to make images that we can watch. I mean, we know what things are. It's not a mystery.
I mean, it's the same electron gun with the father of the electron, J.J. Thomson, or one of them, said that it's an end of the the Faraday tube. So I'm gonna take his word for it. And he used the electron gun to prove that, you know, and it has charge and all that, because it can be deflected.
Yeah, for the lady who I sent the link to, it starts in chapter 1. Read the whole thing, but if you want to skip forward, I think from chapter 1 it gets into what I was talking about after about page 26. But you're better off reading the whole thing because you need the background.
What's the
in
book
order to
called?
understand. Secrets of Cold War Technology by Jerry Vassalato.
You talking about liquid air? Liquid air is the shit. I love that stuff.
Ionized gas.
While I was getting coffee, I was thinking about all this white power you guys were talking about, and that kind of changed my mind. It might be that, is it a type of like microwave, like a resonant microwave plasma, something like? Is it in just a different energy step up? Because it
different
I remember
order
seeing,
of operation.
Well, fine.
I'm not trying to be a pain. I'm not trying to be a pain, but if you want to picture it in your mind,
you are what your hard work sometimes. Okay, good.
Well, because you said microwaves, right? That's one order of operation. That's why I mentioned the gaseous thing earlier, and that's why that demonstration of the stream coming out of the metal under oil is a perfect representation for what we're dealing with. We're dealing with as he put it, ultra gaseous medium.
Yeah, what I get to like is that the apparatus is a microwave, but it's triggering like resonant plasma, which
it can't be a microwave because that you're talking about like 2.4 gigahertz, like, you know, microwave band from whatever 2.4 gigahertz to whatever 5 gigahertz or whatever. That's a sinusoidal electromagnetic band. So I mean, sure, you can, because he was using electrical impulses. So you're gonna have to use pulse width and how many pulses per second, and like the duration of the pulse. That's why he said
that like under like a magnetic influence, that there's that whatever that microwave pulse is happening within that, like in that loop. You know,
not to be a dick, but there was zero magnetic influence because that's exactly what you need to shun out of your circuit. You cannot have any magnetic residue on the primary coils. So, and he said that was very clear. He said there was a magnetically quenched spark gap that he had to stop all the magnetism from getting onto the other side of the circuit. So it was purely electric transmission. So I'm saying, well, it's not really electromagnetic in nature. You do use regular conventional electricity, right? Electromagnetic.
I'm saying it's resonant plasma.
Different plasma. It's unfair to call it plasma.
Well, but this is a good point. You know,
if plasma is just energized air, in this case, it's qualifies. Okay. whatever.
It's because of the definitions of the term. So, like, we have two
You could
ways
be talking
to.
about magic also. I don't know. Like I feel like I have just as much traction in that topic. Whatever you want.
What's
No,
interesting with
dude, he
Tesla's yeah, but
put
Cyrus,
solid
this
shields in
might
front
be
of him, and he still got hit with these waves, right?
Yeah,
So
it's called static electricity.
no.
That's why
How?
all
Did
of
it
these
get past the
experiments,
metallic shield?
all of these experiments led up to his giant Tesla coil. That was one of the last things he done with him and Westinghouse, and it didn't work. All these things that he was trying to do and trying to figure out, he,
What
like
do you
I
mean it
keep
didn't
saying,
work?
he was basically trying to build something that he could electrify the air and everybody could just use antennas to get electricity through the air. But these were experiments that he was doing that were just ultra high voltage experiments. And what I said a while ago, what he keeps calling the ether and stuff is just, it was basically high static electricity that he was creating in his lab. I mean, these
You're,
things are
you're,
pretty well understood nowadays.
no, they're not. Not by you,
Okay.
obviously. You haven't listened to what we're saying. You're not reading the material. It's kind of at this point it's annoying because you're just disagreeing for the sake of it without actually understanding what Cyrus and I were saying.
It's like you're disagreeing. Maybe I'm disagreeing, but
No, because
Belonging to
like
the
if it was my own
wavelengths.
opinion, sure. But I'm quoting the guy who actually did it, and you want to take his words that are very specific
it's
and have very specific meaning, and you want to make them something else.
this is
How
like
is that? How is that legitimate?
these are later
Not
works
not
of his, aren't they? Like, or am I wrong? Like these seem like later works that really should have, in a different world, would have had more time to develop. Obviously, we know he could have had a well different career. You know what I mean, in terms of his achievements and stuff like that. But it's speculation, really, on everybody's part here, as far as like what pieces we have of this puzzle. So I think
What do you
it's
think they're using in field propulsion? That is high frequency spinning up of the discharge on top of the elements.
like ionic drive or something.
listen to this, Snax.
Welcome back, Zephyr.
Tesla is
Yeah, thanks. I just was looking over that PDF. Something stood out to me, the standing waves, and there's something there. I don't know
yeah,
exactly what it is. I'm
go to
highly
page
intuitive.
31. That page 31 is the part that I was referencing specifically. But please read the whole book.
Yeah.
So listen to this. Midway through page 31, Tesla describes the shockwaves. What Cyrus was talking about being struck through insulators, which he described in the hold on. Tesla describes the shockwaves and other effects of impulse. He puts that in all capitals, impulse. In addition to those physical sensations which he described in characteristic understatement, Tesla also enlarges upon the gaseous aspect as associated with the phenomena. He observed that abruptly charged wires in his experiments projected a strange gaseous stream which immersed in an oil when immersed in an oil bath, a phenomena which he once thought due entirely to wire absorbed gas. He found that the effect could be so continuously produced from a single wire that no volume of ordinary absorbed gas could supply the flow. So I don't need to keep reading, but that is the linchpin for what we were talking about. I think if you have that in your mind, then you can better understand what proceeds after the fact. Because otherwise, you're going to keep confusing the terms, because the terms are interchangeable. But if you don't contextualize them within what he's actually doing, you're going to take a lot of the terms that he uses in his patents and in his discussions, and you're going to attribute them to the wrong thing. And that I think is part of the confusion that was, well, not confusion. I don't want to be a pain, but that's part of the miscommunication that was happening with Snax and Syrus. Is that the terminology can be applied in two different instances, but it's the same terminology. He's just using it differently. He being Tesla,
Like neutral and negative.
perhaps.
Yeah, I was 39, page 39. I read up to 39. I read fast.
Speed.
Hey, you ever been out to like Why can't I remember it right now? New Mexico, man. Yeah, I lived there for a little bit. Fun stuff.
Been here my whole life. I grew up kind of between Santa Fe and Los Alamos, like out in the middle of nowhere. That's where I spent most of my childhood. Then we moved to the Four Corners, but I was born in the Four Corners too. Now I'm in Albuquerque, outside of town.
There was a place in Santa Fe I stopped by. Didn't actually get to find any turquoise, but there was like a big mountain.
Oh yeah.
No, it was like
Lots
a
of
hill.
turquoise.
It was like a hill. There was no turquoise, but it was like this type of rock that was like it was polar. Basically, it was magnetically facing. Like it was one color facing north and a different color facing the other way. It's some really interesting geology out there.
Yeah, I'm a rock hound.
Oh,
and
really?
I have also, I collect
That's awesome.
fulgurite too, which is lightning stone. It's
Oh, no
glass
way.
lightning. Yeah, it's all over the place here because we have like lots of iron in our sand. Like I can go around with a big magnet in my yard, and like it'll just get stuck with sand.
Right. All that
I
high
try and
desert
pick up-
stuff.
Yeah, it's really red dirt, oxidized.
What
I was collecting starlight for a while out there. I had a pretty big collection.
What's your favorite mineral?
That I found out there. I think like I found some
just any.
Ooh, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I think I like apophyllite. I like the name and I like the octagonal cleavage. It's sexy.
Yeah, I like that too. I like gold rutile quartz. Like
rutile quartz, yeah, it's hot stuff. With the titanium going through it, it's like, I mean, I think like when people say there's no straight lines in nature, I'm like, maybe that's atomically straight. Like that might just have to be atomically straight.
The rutiles come in all different kinds. It's like it doesn't have to be like, it's kind of like basically like titanium that's fumed with gold, like stuck in quartz. The kind that I like.
I was wondering, does the crystallization happen after the rutile is existent?
I don't know. I don't even know what kind of geologic forces it would take to make that. I mean,
because I'm looking at like certain ones and I'm like, man, like there would have, it's like impossible that it could have been after it was crystallized that like something tunnels through it. It's like, it would have to be like, yeah, okay.
I have a crystal ball and I actually set it in a iron welded, it was like a diamond. So it was like, and it had little imperfections on the one side of the ball. It had like a tiny little imperfection and it was pressed up against the iron box and the box was under a lamp that heated it, but it wasn't like, it's desert here. So we don't get a lot of humidity really. So the box was like painted on the outside, but not on the inside. And, but just from heating up, it got rusted inside the ball. It like traveled up through the crack into the ball, and there's like little orange ghosts inside of it now.
Okay, so you're saying like
crazy.
So it like oxidized into the crystal matrix?
Yeah, and it's really weird. It's a pretty decent sized ball too. It came from Wales. They don't mine anymore. It's exceptionally clear.
Is that how these like citrines and like sunstone kind of work then too, same way?
I don't know. I think it seems like it's more permeated in the mineral. You'd really have to have an electron microscope to be able to tell.
Right. Yeah, I guess yeah.
How's an electron microscope work?
Bombards it with electrons, I guess, and I'm not
somebody said a while ago electrons don't exist. That's why I was asking that.
It's a CRT tube, man. It's an
metal
electron
coating.
gun.
I know how they work.
CRT tube.
I was being facetious.
Okay.
Electrons.
I wonder how many people even know where the term electron came from.
I'm gonna be like super sharp with this. There's no electrons flowing in the wire. You get electrons in your cathode ray tube, okay? By pulling it out of the metal. That's Mr. JJ
flow, but they flow slow. They don't flow fast like that, but they do move.
Do they now?
Yes, they do. But they flow slowly. They don't. It's not like you're hitting a bunch of balls against each other and they're flying down through there. It's not what carries the energy.
So they move slowly, but then they jump out of the wire.
Yes.
So are they coming from the battery?
Well, we was always told they jump from the wire.
Yeah, but it's a piece of the wire, not from the battery then.
Somebody needs to read Thompson's work. I wonder
It's
how many
not-
people who talk about electrons even know where the term came from.
Bro,
what I want-
he got the Nobel Prize for it, and I quote this guy all the time. It's like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm
Well, I
quoting
want-
him,
How many
he's got
how
the
many
Nobel
people
Prize
reference-
for it. It's
How
like
many
a
people
Nobel
reference
fucking
his
prize.
work? How many people reference his work and the term that he even brought to bear in the manner that it should be, without having any clue where it came from?
So many. You guys are way too serious, though.
His
What I wanted to say a while ago about Tesla, though, is when you read Tesla's writings, Tesla existed in a day where there was an enormous amount of unknowns still yet and he was making discoveries, and he was trying to write his discoveries and the things he was trying to figure out, but a vast majority of things that he was seeing was yet to be understood. And that's why a lot of the things he writes sounds like that he's, there's this crazy thing going on, or he's this some type of electrical god that's discovered this new stuff that nobody's ever discovered since. No, it's just he's trying to explain things that he don't understand is what's going on in his writings.
I can relate to that.
Why don't you demonstrate what you're saying then?
The thing that the guy posted a while ago in the chat, the little 3 sentences, that's you a good explanation right there. That's a good demonstration right there. It's already in the chat for you.
But yeah, you say
But
J.J.
yeah,
Thompson. I definitely think he sounds like a blues musician, mid-century blues musician.
He was making etheric music. It's a common mistake attributing, what would you call it, Cyrus? Like individualized substance to effects and manifestations.
That sounds.
Say that one more time.
Oh,
It's like misattributing. They do it a lot, not just with the electron stuff. They do that with nearly everything. They especially in this field or this general field, they misattribute individualized substance to an effect or to a manifestation.
Yeah. It's just like back to the electrical discharge, even in a vacuum tube. If we talk about like lightning, because according to JJ, it's not what we think it happens. As you see the discharge go from like plate to plate, right? Sky to earth, earth to sky, whatever. It's this vertical line that appears. But the pressure wave is actually moving sideways because you have these vertical Faraday tubes. And the idea, his theory behind it is you get this lightning discharge or this plasma or fire when one of these bungees, right, the stress is too high and it breaks. And when one of them break, all the other core, like the bungee cords, Faraday tubes, rush sideways to fill in that gap, and you get this discharge. And because of the intense heat, you get fire, plasma. So that's J.J. Thompson's idea behind how electrical discharges happen. People just look at the lightning strike, look at the electron flow, and neglect the field around it. What's happening to the field? Well, the gradient's moving sideways. Actually, it's moving to the place of fire. That's what caused the fire.
Can I
Not the single
bring this
bungee
all
breaking.
together? Can I bring all of this stuff into one bowl, like a? Because also, what I want to ask Zephyr was if she'd ever been up to like the Rio Grande River area in New Mexico. That's where I saw something that was just like a white light, like that reminds me of Tesla
it's about
stuff.
a mile. It's about a mile east of where I live right now.
There was this like white light that kind of like cruised right up the river, and I guess that would be a long time. And I saw it with a group of other people, and none of us knew what the hell that was. It was moving real fast, moving side to side and stuff like that. And is it
It could have been
possible, Cyrus?
many things.
Is it possible that that this phenomena is like a some type of sprite activity or like static ball lightning activity that's going on because like the river is acting like some type of plate with like some kind of higher energy above it, like just in the air, like local height that way. Like it's right in the cloud layer.
What's the phenomenon? And I think already I've got no idea.
I guess I'm saying like,
test
is it possible like that there's a static discharge that goes on a river, and as you might see this at different altitudes, better or worse, but depending on the certain conditions. I saw it at really high altitude. That's why I'm saying maybe Zephyr's seen it other places around there, as a
I
phenomenon.
actually used to sit out on my balcony, which was right by where I-40 crosses the river, and there's a big power lines that travel perpendicular to the river at that point as well. And I used to sit out and I used to watch, like, it's crazy because it's like up high on a mesa, like, and you can see the whole city. And sometimes when there's like electrical storms in the panhandle of Oklahoma, you can see them from there if it's clear all the way to the storm. But at least according to what the radar was showing where they were. But yeah, I've seen things like that before. I didn't know what they were.
I think I'm just wondering, like, if this would have been like, and because we were talking about like other weather conditions that don't exist, this anomalous fire, the electrified snow. I think there's another one too. But if it is a conditionality within the ungrounded world, that like a static ball of like white light will just chase up a river sometimes. If that's a thing, then ancient peoples would have seen it possibly be like, oh, that's the spirit that goes over the river. You know what I mean?
Think that might be what the Watchers are.
Well, and they say that spirits are confined to like straight pathways or whatever. That was like that's like I'm very woo, and I read a lot of things, and that's one of the like things that they say is that that's why labyrinths you're supposed to be able to lose this an attachment by walking a labyrinth, because the spirits can't follow you in curvy lines.
Huh. Dangerous in straight lines, like alligators. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, is there like a gross manifestation that would be seen in every part of the world that would have been near rivers, and then also accompanied by some kind of like a thing in the sky moving really fast, and this kind of all maybe relates back to what Taylor was kind of getting into. I think she's sleeping, but dragons, serpents, feathered serpents, movement. Basically, these are all river spirits. Most dragons, actually, of mythology and the Asian stuff, are all river spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this
now you're getting into my wheelhouse?
Some type of dragon energy happening? You know what I mean? And like, it's been like we basically don't see it now in the grounded world, in the grounded modern world.
Well, you don't see it.
I don't know. I've been
because it's the radio.
Places. That's the radio.
Maybe it's the amount of RF that just we're cooking the earth with all the time. Maybe that's why we don't see this stuff anymore. I don't know. I don't know what caused it. Anyways,
it does cause
interference. Speculate.
But you can create your own field that insulates you. Etherically, I think.
Yeah, back to JJ real quick. Like a droplet of water in it contains a lot of these lines of force or tubes of force or Faraday tubes. So when it turns into vapor, releases all this what we call static electricity, right? But it's these Faraday tubes that are connecting onto everything else around it. Because there's a real grid, electromagnetic grid. So our compass will align with the magnetic grid on the Earth, and there's another grid, and they're always 90 degrees. They're always orthogonal. And whenever these lines cross in nature, they're at 90 degrees to one another. They cross at 90-degree increments. And
Yeah,
it's both
perpendicular.
fabrics are real. But science, like especially with the dielectric field, the magnetic, we can visualize it with iron, so they can't delete that. Okay, we still have to talk about that because, and the electric is more difficult to study. So we just deal with the electron proton, aka the terminals of this tube, and they delete the Faraday tube or the line of force. You just magically, let's just not talk about it. But what's happening is you have this lines of force connecting off of it, like everything.
Once when I was took a bunch of mushrooms, I saw like little golden threads attaching everything. It was almost like being in my crystal ball, like, and I was trying to navigate like without tripping over them. They were pretty dense though, and I eventually like my foot passed through one, and it like rejoined behind it, and it also attached to me. So I wonder if it works something like that. Boy, crickets. Sorry, didn't mean to shut it all down.
Well, it would
Yeah, when
stand
you
to
look
reason
at
that
magnetic field, it has a horizontal and a vertical part. I'll put research in the chat.
Yeah, it's
You know-
the old thing when you deal with it. If you curl your fingers around and you point your thumb, when the magnetic field is going the way your fingers are pointing, the current will flow in the direction your thumb is pointing. They always interact in that same exact way. If you turn your hand over it, it stops away. And if you reverse the magnetic field in the wire, it'll flow in the opposite direction.
Is that why our hands are like this?
I don't know. You have to use your right hand though. It's the right hand rule.
Only the right hand?
What if you're left-handed?
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah,
called the right hand rule.
Are we
You have to use
are
your
we
right
just-
hand. You don't work with your left hand to be backwards.
Is it just an illusion that we're symmetrical? Like, are we just like chiral beings? I mean, I don't know.
we're slightly asymmetric.
That's true.
Yeah, but when you apply the right hand rule and you apply that at equator, that direction of that jet stream going west to east is what gives you those two hemispheres.
Yep, that's true. And see, I was like left-handed whenever I was little, and I learned how to write by the time I was 3. And then my dad found out whenever I went to kindergarten when I was 5, and I had to learn all over again with my right hand. I was forced because he was superstitious. And now I'm ambidextrous and ambiverted.
Yeah, they tried that with me. They tried to let me write with my left hand. I was wiping through all my writings. Started writing at my own with my right hand, but I'm two-handed and two-feeted, so I can do everything with both sides.
You can write with your feet also?
I bet you can play drums really well.
There's money in that. Right? Yeah. I'm like
I didn't think
amazed by my drummer friends. They just have like the autonomous motion. Like I've been working on just trying to bang a bongo for, but just playing the steering wheel is difficult for me.
That's
how people play the piano. They're like
and
that
with
too.
basketball.
Yeah, I can write backwards with my left hand now. I've discovered that I could do this like at some point spontaneously when I was a teenager, and I can write the same thing forward with my right hand at the same time as long as I'm writing the same thing. It's not that impressive. There's people that can write different things with each hand, which totally blows my mind.
Really?
schizophrenic.
It's like it's commitment to motion. I think that's how drumming works. Really, like you kind of have to know what your body's supposed to do ahead of time and be like, yeah, that's cool, do that thing, and then flail around.
Yeah, and it's muscle memory too. Probably like dancing or writing or anything like that. You get better at it the more you do it.
You was talking about playing the drums, and I'm going to post this little YouTube short. This guy's playing the piano, but it's sort of the same thing, and it amazes me how people can use both hands to do stuff like that. Let me get it in the chat here. I love this song too, by the way.
Yeah, I posted a song that I wrote earlier in the chat too. If you guys check it out later.
What do you keyboard?
I write lyrics actually, and I used AI to write my
wow.
music.
No way. Sounds cool.
And I did the video with it's a waveform generator.
Well, if you can play that, check out this short I posted and see if you've ever heard that song there, and see, let me know if you can play that song. I love that song.
Where did you post it?
In the chat.
For this room?
Yeah.
Mine's not updating.
Try it under Crizzle.
It's not updating.
It's not. It's a live stream. It ain't the room chat. It's
it's kind of got that Viennese waltz thing going for it.
Yeah, it's live stream one text. This is the name of it.
It is really interesting here, man. Like musicality is like well beyond the powers of speech, and it's in a ways like it can never be speech unless it's got lyrics.
I think it's funny how music is ingrained in us.
Like we're musical beings using music to communicate, actually.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
And how did we get that way? If evolution is supposed to be real, I know a lot of people don't believe in it, and I ain't saying one way or another. I'm just saying, if humans evolved, why would we evolve to learn to love music? Like, how would that have ever have been a benefit through natural selection or anything?
The birds. It's the birds.
Yeah. It's birds, the language of the birds. And I think the harmony of the spheres, they're all the same. It's like resonance, scaffolding for everything that exists.
She's switched on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you should check out my song if you guys wouldn't. I mean, it's
where's
kind of
it
weird.
at?
It's like
it's
in the chat the chat down below.
The room chat.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever even. I didn't know
my lyrics are.
In there.
The captions are not really correct for my lyrics, but my lyrics are sort of like I read a lot of James Joyce, and I'm more into Finnegan's Wake than Ulysses. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, like Ulysses is a little too weird. It's too.
Finnegan's Wake is way weirder. But
called Creepy Vibes. Is that it?
Yeah. Called Creepy Vibes.
Where was it? I've checked all of the rooms here. Where is this?
It's in the text that goes here. I'll forward it to the
text
normal chat room. Hold on.
I didn't know where to put it, so.
Oh my goodness.
Here, I got it. It's in the normal chat room now. It's right under mine.
Wait, is that the slow chat? Oh wow, there's a side chat.
Yeah. I don't know why nobody ever uses that. Every Discord channel has their own little separate room instead of using the side chat for the VC. I don't know why nobody uses that. I've always wondered that.
Yeah, it just seems easier for me to click the little bubble. So
right,
that's where
I do too. I think the same thing. You can still see who's talking while you're reading people's messages and everything.
Yeah. Well, I generally will get to know your voice eventually. It's a little harder here whenever I can't see the whole screen because there's so many people in here.
Yeah, I put something in the chat about the Hebrew alphabet and how it is connected to the toroidal field and the waveforms.
You're speaking my language. I love it.
Crizzle, I brought this up to you last week, a couple weeks ago, with Ken Wheeler, and I was connecting the ether physics to the Kabbalah. Remember that?
Yeah,
Sounds
but
like
this I've been sharing for almost 2 years.
You seemed pretty
It doesn't matter.
mystified last week when I brought it up. You're like, well, I don't know the Kabbalah.
I don't
Remember
know
that?
it either, but I wrote 2 Kabbalah jokes.
You call it Kabbalah. I never read Kabbalah. I just look at the knowledge that everybody's sharing. You can
Yeah.
call it Kabbalah all you want.
I'm just
I think
saying
it's much
that
older.
it's interesting that I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and then now you're like promoting it and showing videos. Like, oh look, the 22 letters of the alphabet. The Zohar, the Kabbalah talks about all that. The the energies, what you guys refer to as what do you call them? What relativity calls it. It all comes from the fabric of space and time, bending and warping of space time. It's not a force, but according to the ancients, there was this like ethereal substance. It was substantive. You know,
It
some
has to
call it
do
the
with
ether.
frequency, with vowels, with sounds. That's what it's got to do with. And that's what the Hebrew alphabet is really about. It is not about religion. It's what something which they found in a cave.
I'm not trying to change topic line. You can keep talking about this. I was just going to say real quick to the person that said there's ambidextrous or whoever, a couple people in here. I want to post a thing real quick of a guy playing Sweet Child of Mine with 2 different guitars, one with each hand. And
I've seen people do that with harpsichord and a piano, like Clay. It's crazy.
Yeah, but y'all can go back to your conversation there. I was just saying that. I posted it in the chat if anyone wants to check it out.
So, yeah, I posted an image from Walter Russell's book, The Universal One. And, you know,
Yeah,
these
but if you look at
people,
Walter Russell's,
they're all cut from the same
Well,
cloth.
wait.
They're all part of that mystery goop. They're like that, the centripetal divergent forces and this and that. But look,
yeah, it goes back
what do you see
to
there?
the Christmas
Chris,
tree.
what do you see there? Flash from Sex 1.
See circles in a square or a diamond.
Now look at this. What do you see there?
Yeah,
Crizzle?
yeah.
What
see,
is
like
that, Crizzle?
because all the alphabets are basically built off the same like frame. And that frame is us too. Like we're limited.
Cymatics, the vibrations that resonate all around us too.
What I see is the flower of life, the tree of life. That's what I see.
It's all fractal.
Well, yeah, sort of.
And it goes back to the Christmas tree and to Walter Russell
These are
thing. That is like a Christmas tree also.
These are really showing you like harmonic convergence, you know, like in terms of cymatics, I guess is a way to say it, because you're looking at like travel of like a line, you know, and like what kind of cavity it fills, like because of what spaces are not crossed. So there's that, yeah.
It's oscillation. It's
a
resonance frequency.
Somebody built this thing that was called Rubens tube, and they vibrate the gas, and they can create standing waves with flammable gas. They light the flames.
Yeah, I've seen that. So like, I guess there's also the concept that like, yeah, like in some way, like language may have, I mean, they may have seen this. They may have seen this in the ancient world, and they may have like tried to create. I guess there's what they call like the Hebrew flame alphabet theory, where that basically certain characters are like because of like certain flame characters that would develop based on speech in like a flame tube. So the sound that was made like would it makes a certain type of shape.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I believe it, but
yeah,
I
but
think
if you
it's
look,
an interesting idea.
If you look at the bottom of that Walter Russell, there stands no end, no beginning. And that's what I was talking about. For when you go back to time, you have that circular motion. It's cyclical. It's a repetitive motion of everything. That's why it has no end and no beginning.
But I like like sound is one thing, right? We talk about a guitar. A guitar can like play all these frequencies. We've got like a frequency range, but then we've got like these parts of speech that are smaller than words, like atomic speech parts, or just like phonemes or whatever, bits of words, meh or te, or you know what I mean, just like a bit of communication. And these essentially are combination pieces that are not just like a frequency, and essentially, as we could just understand them as sound, but they have dimensionality to them as they're heard to us and as we like decode them. So like there's all this like texture and stuff that we pick up from all these bass pieces, and there's only so many bass pieces that we can make. We can only generate so many sounds, and so therefore it's like if you gridded it out, like you would be able to map like a language or all languages. If just one set of dudes did this, and then they came up with the work, and then they like handed it out to some other chiefs, and they're like, yo, like your whole language is built like this, like let's unify these or something under some kind of system.
Real quick,
have you seen
Time or something?
Lion, did you ever watch that Secrets in Plain Sight Part 2? He outlines how like Hebrew, Proto-Chinese, Sanskrit, another one. They all follow the same alphabetic base to sounds, and they're all coordinated with like about 24, like for 24 hours. So that's generally it. And then
I didn't see the whole thing.
This whole notion that the Asian language is like super crazy and varied, that happens way later in some of their dynasties to make shit look crazy and different, even like it's not connected to that stuff. They're trying to hide the original roots of it, sort of.
There is truth in what you're saying, and I do believe all the languages are rooted in one ancient mother language. I also want to add that when it comes to the Kabbalah and Eastern mysticism, right, sacred geometry, just like the whole Fibonacci sequence, golden ratio, pi, the Platonic solids, right, these Platonic forms, Euclidean geometry, all these things, where all this came from. When you go back to Babylon, right, and you go back to the occult, and like where all this knowledge came from and where it was passed down from, where it originated, in the Kabbalah themselves, in the Zohar, in the Talmud. And you'll find it in Buddhism, you'll find some of these concepts in Taoism and across the Middle East. But Kabbalah presents which is, the Kabbalah is part of the Talmud, for those that don't know. It's Jewish mysticism. I'm sure Einstein would have been familiar with it. Kabbalah presents a mystical and highly structured vision of the cosmos, particularly in relation to creation in the 22-letter Hebrew alphabet. One of the primary texts that explores these ideas in the Zephyr Yitzida, Book of Formation, which describes how the universe was created through the letters of the Hebrew alphabet and their combinations. But this is where it gets mystical. This is where I'm like, nah, I don't buy this stuff, because this is the Eastern Mystery Babylon goop. But it says here you got the three mother letters, the Aleph, Mem, Shin, represent the fundamental elements air, water, and fire. And you got 7 double letters. But Kabbalistic traditions holds that God created the cosmos by uttering these letters, combining them into words, perturbation, vibration, right, of the cosmos, of the background medium, is what brought the elements into existence. This has been known for thousands of years. And numerical patterns that form the fabric of existence. The letters are not mere symbols, but living forces, each carrying divine energy. The act of creation, according to the Sefer Yitzida, was not one-time event, but a continuous process where divine energy flows through these letters and sustains all of reality. And that's it. So yeah, this is the stuff that Ken Wheeler's into, bro. This is the stuff that you guys are getting into. You guys don't even realize it, but some of this stuff can be dangerous.
You're talking about Prince?
And that's where you're wrong,
because
Lion.
it says,
because you think we only think, look at the
I'll land it
Kabbalah.
I'll land it right here. I promise.
What did I tell you before? I look at all religions.
Crizzle, please, let me just land it right here. So when you go through Walter Russell's book, Universal One, which I have on PDF, and his second book, even if there is knowledge given, right, that is useful, is pragmatic, like the scientific heliocentric model, right? Even if there is knowledge given by the fallen angels, like weapon making, cosmetic, sorcery, astrology, ether, physics, etc., it was considered corrupting knowledge that led to violence, lust, pride, and the spread of evil. Yah calls the secrets of heavens, right, the secret of heaven, worthless, not because they had no power or usefulness, but because they were morally destructive and led humanity further from righteousness. First Enoch 9:8. Thou seest that what Azazel has done, who hath taught all
Now, please don't
unrighteousness
start
on earth,
preaching.
and
Are you
revealed the
done?
eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven. Go ahead, I'm done.
Let's not go back to the Bible and stuff.
When I look
This
at
wasn't even the
first of
Bible. This was
all,
Enoch. It's
first
not in
of
the
all,
Bible.
Lion,
This is an ancient text.
It's too old.
But yeah, but it's good try
First-
though.
We're only
It's
going
not too bad. I
first of all,
enjoy it.
1800s.
Lion, I never read Walter Russell. I just barely glanced at Ken Wheeler's work. The knowledge I gained is just by looking at how the winds move, how the water moves, how our earth behaves. And when you see that structure in nature, you know that the Kabbalah is for partly right. You know that the Eastern things are partly right. That
Yep.
every religion has something in it. And if you can see that in nature, that's your problem. But I don't need books to see nature behaving.
I think that we read into things for our own validation, and it's just as simple as what Chris just said. You can do it so many ways too, like that.
I
Nature.
disagree. Yeah. There can only be one truth. Not your truth
Well,
isn't
yeah.
my truth. My truth isn't your truth. Not everybody can be true.
But
And
our
even though there's
individual
multiple ways to
Truth
skin a cat, right?
resonates,
Rape is
lies
always
don't.
wrong, right? So when it comes to sorcery, pharmakia, alchemy, these mystical concepts of the waking up the third eye, the 7 chakras, the Kundalini awakening, these female masculine energies, and combining that with physics, with science, fundamentally you have presuppositions that you subconsciously subscribe to, whether you realize it or not.
And you do too.
And you can't separate
Mhm.
right the mystical aspects,
No, you can't.
presuppositions. Yeah, you can't.
Everything that you could say about us
You
is things
describe
you could say
our
to you.
conscious as mystical, but that's ridiculous.
I'm a
Well, it's been
mystical
banished
being.
to that.
No, I'm super mystical. I'm even mystical in myself. I'm like, man, I'm so fucking mystical sometimes.
Yeah,
Such
I
a
know.
mystery.
Sometimes I do things and I look at it and I'm like, wow, did I do that? Whoa. I feel the same. But yeah, I think it's the combination of all of our individual truths that make the truth. Because it's all the same thing.
Yeah, and it's
I always say
it's
when
temporal
something
too.
is true, you see it from multiple vantage points.
Yeah. And that's how you get closer to what the actual apprehension of the truth, the singular truth is. But you have to reflect inward first.
Yep.
I'm just trying to shed light here. That's all. Because when you talk about everybody hates the Talmud, right? But then you without realizing
you just
you're
mentioned another
actually-
book. That's another book. Stop needle
don't.
dropping here, or talk about hip hop albums.
I'm saying that this knowledge is found in the Talmud, guys.
All right, for
The
every
same
holy
stuff
book
that
you
she
mention,
brought.
you have to mention hip hop
It
album.
is.
Also.
It is an
You balance
abominable
it.
book. It is not a holy book. It is the opposite of a holy book. Right?
The new
And
Aesop
And the
Rock
things in
just
it are
dropped.
not holy, right?
and what Lil Wayne said about that.
I don't know.
I
don't know what verse
I don't
you're
think
referencing.
Lil Wayne listens to Aesop Rock.
Oh no.
But yeah, so like
Yeah,
Metatron
Talmud is,
Cube.
is
You
man's
guys ever heard of
interpretation
Metatron?
of the Torah.
Oh yes, I have actually. It's one of my
The Merkaba,
cool.
the Metatron Cube. Look at the shapes. Look at the geometry. Look at the semantics. See
That was Enoch.
No, when it comes to music theory, right, and these octaves that Walter Russell talked about, what do you think like music theory came from?
Like octaves happen, dude. Like don't even trip about it. Like
And not in October.
Even Earth has a resonance frequency. That's
octave is just
60
double the
hertz.
fundamental, dude. Octaves double the fundamental. It happens in your show. Your shofar has tunings, bro, too. Like your shofar has what's called shofar tunings. That has an octave. Don't trip.
Right. So there's temporal ordering. There's an order to things, a mode of operations, right? Sequence. An octave shows that there's temporal ordering. There's resonant frequencies, right? The ancients knew this. They included it in the architecture and all the major, some of the most famous buildings in the world, the cathedrals, the way that they constructed the tinted windows. You'll notice the sacred geometry, the schematics is well known in Tartaria. These people were Renaissance men. They played 5 different instruments, right? Knew 5 different languages, were scribes. Right? They understood music theory. They understood resonant frequencies. Walter Russell it's not mutually exclusive to Walter Russell or Einstein or any of these other fags. Right? This stuff came to us from Babylon, was lost, and now it's being rediscovered in modern times, post relativity.
No, this is older than Babylon.
We're remembering it though.
You're talking about human communication? Yeah, it's old stuff.
This goes back to the pyramid.
Or further back even. Sphinx.
Yep.
Yeah, but the pyramid tells us a history. There is history in numbers that weren't even happened when that thing was built.
Yeah. Do you guys remember? Do any of you remember any of your past lives at all? Any memories? Do you believe in it?
I got traits. I never learned.
I do.
I just know.
To a certain point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this life I can't really recall quite well, actually.
Oh, you're so lucky. So it's not as great as it seems to be able to remember everything. My subconscious is much smarter.
This is what Ken really posted a couple months ago that I keep track of his posts on YouTube. And look at the book he shared. Giordano Bruno and the Hermetic Tradition. And if you read that book or just skim through it, you'll know where he's biting all his shit from, dude. And it's the occult, dude. So even though he popularized it on YouTube, this stuff's been around, dude.
I think like in a way he's wrongly attributing some stuff to like in this way that you're saying, like, that you're seeing that he's drawing information from the occult, I think obscures the actual pure logic of some of the things that he talks about. Like when he talks about the 5-pointed star, I think that is sort of like, it presumes this concept in the Greek, I guess, notion that gets to this occultic way, but I think it's also just like you can arrive at the geometry of it differently.
Markov chains?
You can derive it out of the geometry of the pyramid itself.
No, it's because the like a 5-pointed star is a little bit different in that like it kind of forms like an array of geometries, I guess, within it, right? And it's that it's like, I guess what you would think is like, I guess in the Parthenon, that the triangular of that arch or whatever you say that.
Take your time, dude. It's just us.
Sorry, boss. I want to hit this pipe though. Hold on a second. It's just weird. I think that's why I'm anxious. Hold on.
Me too. I don't like monologuing. And people accuse me of monologuing because I talk a lot, but take your time, dude.
I interrupt a lot. So if anybody gets their toes stepped on, just tell me to shut up. I won't be offended. I promise.
Yeah, you're fine.
I may or may not listen.
Oh, I like hearing you talk.
Thank you. I like talking and I can listen at the same time too. So there's that. Most people can't follow it though.
Yeah, I hear you pretty well.
They always get lost.
I've got unusual resonance level. Maybe it's it's New Mexico. I don't know.
Yeah. Who is is it Elisha?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is that you?
Yep.
Yeah. Because you have the last part of your name. It says Savvvy. I like write weird with 2 V's. One of them big, one of them small. So I noticed that right away. Because I'm weird.
Double veered.
Yeah, I'm double veered too. I veer all different ways.
So if you just like,
Multi-veered.
I guess to make a
She's
5-pointed
fluid.
star, you could have multiple objectives to start with. What Ken Wheeler suggests is that this is part of like a whole tradition. I think that you can just get it from you do a horizontal and then split it, basically. So you create an upside down T, and then you create perspective lines from that center point, and now you have like a perspective, a horizontal, and like a plumb, I guess, if you will, right? So it's like loosely like a low level kind of static geometry that you could say like really represents just the natural world, you know. And so that shape could have been drawn by primitive people for a long time. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but if you look at the Giza pyramid with that equilateral triangle and that right triangle right in the middle of that equilateral triangle, and if you look at the Buckminster Fuller map with 20 equilateral triangles, that is the best map they ever made for how the lands are lying. And if you take that to the pyramids and back to all the ancient structures, that is how nature is structured.
what? In equilateral triangles?
Yeah, that's how we build up the ground to the sky. Even that's how the whole model is. Even
So it's just brick by brick.
Pyrrhic triangulation.
I think I have about like 10 theories on why the pyramids exist. I don't think that they compete with each other that much, but still, it's just what a strange world that would have been where that was the shit to be doing. Like, what are you doing like for work? You know, it's like, oh no, I stopped doing delivery. Now I'm working on the pyramids. They got me on that shit, and yeah, it's like a pretty
people were working.
It's a kind of rewarding. Like
Well,
we're all kind of seeing what we do, but like, man, it's like kind of tough
That's
work.
why I don't think slaves built the pyramids. I'm sure they utilized some slaves, but you would have to have skill. You'd have to have a skilled labor force because you have to have people that know how to cut stone. You have to have people that know how to ship heavy objects. You have to have people that know how to move things on water. You got to have people that know how to control animals. You have to have rope makers. You have to have tool makers. Like the list goes on and on and on. And every single one of these jobs takes a skilled person, not just someone who is being forced to do what they're told to do.
They've
And
allegedly,
so,
they found receipts for payment for like specialists like that for these things. But you know, whatever. I'm not trying to say whether that's real or not. But yeah, like that's
yeah. That's why I think that it had to be done by like people getting paid and for their skilled work. I just don't think the slave thing is correct at all.
But still, like in that time, it'd be like, oh yeah, you're getting paid pretty well then, right? Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. We're gonna go down to the bar, get some Blue Lotus grog or whatever, you know what I mean, and get some
Grog.
partners for the evening or something like that, and we'll chill out, and then we'll go back to work or something like that. You know, if these people were hired, and then you would still be like, what the fuck are we building these things for again?
Well, one thing that people neglect to remember is that the people of that time, literally, the pharaoh was, or pharaoh, he was a god, and so you could like look upon God, and the feeling of that I remember very clearly, and it feels kind of stupid from my perspective now, but it's quite motivating.
I watched the coolest thing that I think, or one of the coolest things that I've watched in a long time, is they always talk about the pyramids being tombs and they were sealed so people couldn't get in and tomb rob them and stuff. But this guy done a whole breakdown of the way that almost all the pyramids have like 3 big gigantic stones that are lowered down into place to seal off the king's chamber and stuff. But the way they're made is it appears like they were made to be able to be lifted and lowered, like when they wanted to, not just at the very end when they lower them down and seal it off. They actually, it looks like there's a whole setup to where, and what he talked about and what he was theorizing or hypothesizing was that, well, what he was saying was the whole pyramid thing was set up like we would build things today. We would build monuments to where the public can go. You can leave your respects. You can see the whatever we're going to see, you know, or whatever, like the Arlington Cemetery or something like that, where the public can go and leave its respects. So maybe back then it was set up to where people, it was a whole thing. You would make your trip to the Great Pyramid. It was the God King. That's where he was laid to rest. You would lay your offerings. You would do your prayer. You could go in and out. People would be going in and out of the pyramid to look at it at all times. But if they ever got raided or if there was ever wartime, they could quickly close it off, keep it closed off until things cleared back up, and then they could open it back up again and allow life to go on, you know. Like it was more like a continuous monument rather than a sealed tomb. And
where'd you get that from?
I can post the video. It's a really good video.
I'm just
It
curious.
was a power plant and a water pump for irrigation. I'm pretty sure.
Who's
Wow,
Christopher?
we are
Christopher
just like,
Dunn is the one that was on Rogan
over here,
saying it was a power plant.
Yeah, that was me. I said that. I don't know how to say how I know what I know, but that feels right to me.
There's a book I think written in the mid-70s called The Giza Power Plant that theorizes some way of that working. I don't know if it really has to do with like water pump situation, but I feel like that there's a whole pump action. There's like, I think there's like an acoustic resonance thing that's going on.
That too,
I think that's,
there was healing chambers where people would go underneath the pyramid and they would do sound vibration healing. That's what those quartz bathtubs are. Have you seen those?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I've seen the copper pipes that are lodged. They're part of the pyramid itself, the pyramid structure.
They were doing like hyperbaric chambers and things too. Like it was kind of the same thing as a hyperbaric chamber, like a float tank.
They have the vibration from the flowing river, allegedly, that because there's like an underground aquifer, is the correct word.
And that's the water.
They strategically would place these, whatever they are, these megalithic structures. I don't want to call it a temple, and I don't want to call it a tomb, but they would put these strategically over flowing water.
Yeah,
so that
just
they could
like
tap into, and they would some I guess from the flowing water, the vibrations from the flowing water was just enough that it would start to resonate and produce energy. Go ahead.
Linus, it's like my theory here is that there's like a sideways diagonal access shaft that goes down to this water, and it creates like water hammer. And there's a pump that's always going. Because of this and because of the flow of the Nile just kind of keeps up going. It's enough kick to kind of keep it going. And then it's creating this like incredible loud ass sound that channels through this thing. That's what I think. And that's, I guess, why I think that the construction is necessary to be so heavy like that. So it's like vibrationally null. And it basically, the reasoning for why there's no hieroglyphs in there, and for also the reasoning of, if you look at the architecture, that's specifically like could have been made a bunch of different ways, but it looks like it's cutting the air channel down, so it's limiting frequency, the not the longitudinal, but the whole wave of it basically, and it's focusing it into a certain sound at the top. It's cutting it into a kind of a square wave. If you look at the way that the actual chamber is, it's like a square profile.
It's acoustically tuned in a way that,
and then it's able to basically be shunted and jumped into the king's chamber, which is like an acoustic resonance manifold in a way, where that the resonance of that specific box is might be filled with something or something like that. That's gonna maybe like I don't know, like a thorium or something like that would be good. So you're just
thorium.
like
I just thought of
What
something
you guys
funny.
on
Not
about?
to be gross, but it's like, yo, it's you got to vibrate the box in a
we
certain way
vibrate the box
to get it
and then
off.
we free the electrons. Now the electrons are going to be stored and also vibrated, I think, too, with the pink granite slabs that are in there.
Yeah.
Now, so like
Some of them are
that, this is
very-
capable, I think, of creating like a localized, like energized static cloud, basically, where you could have these kind of Thessalonian properties of near field power distribution being locally distributed into the obelisks, which were made out
Yep.
of like black quartz granite. So if those were like in fountain situations or something like that, where they were covered in water, they would have a high amount of electroconductivity and that they'd be able to absorb this or something like that. If these were like laid out in different streets, you'd have a power grid. People could locally like use water as a sort of conductor of electricity locally, and it would be crazy. I don't know. Like, is that possible? I think so.
That makes
Did it happen? I man, I wouldn't want to try to prove it, but I think the bones of it are there for sure.
They definitely knew some things that we didn't know. And, well, we don't remember at least.
I mean, yeah, like I don't want to. Yeah, I guess I could like make a whole video where I, explore all these topics and polish every edge of it. You know what I mean? It's like, but that where it's like supposedly airtight, but I'm sure it's full of holes. It's like anything like this. So,
Doesn't mean it's not worthwhile because you'll learn something along the journey, probably.
the hyperbaric stuff I did not know about. But yeah, it would make sense that they would have like luxurious ass baths and stuff for sure.
Well, and I'm still trying to figure out how, like, the chambers at Barabbas in India are connected to that, and there's a lot of
the one the pyramid structure. It's like way deep. It has its like own aquifer, and it's basically like underwater. A lot of it. They're trying to excavate it.
Where was it?
It's in the Middle East. Maybe it's in Egypt.
So
Pre-flood.
It's to where they base it's
collapses.
it's super in a super dry area, but basically they built it like sunken into the ground, and then it hits the aquifer, and so the whole thing. But it's now flooded because the pumping system, I guess, went out of order. They didn't have a service contract or whatever.
What happened with the pyramids too? The course of the Nile redirected, and that had something to do with the green Sahara theory, like because it used to be green, and then the water. I think it was a polar shift, personally, but I don't know.
I wonder if like the whole thing wasn't wicked, like the whole outside of these pyramids never had a white marble facing that just fits too well with like white man's burden for me, and it's just like yeah, of course they were white. I don't know, like, or Atlantis or something out of the 70s, but like what if they were green? I feel like what if they were just like bushels of shit, like all like grown up around it, like wicked with like a just rope. You could create a wicking system for everything to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that maybe, but I don't remember anything like that. And I think I remember there was white stone, and they found pieces of it, like because they repurposed it once it stopped working. They just took all the stones off the outside of it to use other places. There's a lot of buildings built out of it in Cairo.
When do you think they were built?
Over time, like starting about, I think, maybe 6,000 or 7,000 years ago. I think Göbekli Tepe's older.
What about you, Snax?
It's like 13,000 years old.
I'm packing a bowl.
Oh no,
They
take
were
your
built
time.
on
All
that
right, yo,
point.
he's packing. Yo, when Snax hits this bowl, dude,
Gonna
his
go
brain
into
starts
hyperspace.
doing fireworks.
Well, maybe I will join you.
You got a smoking buddy, Snax.
I don't think they're that old personally. Graham Hancock says they're 21,000 years old.
Yeah, but
Grand
his
Hancock is
age,
full of shit.
his aging has to be contextualized within how old he thinks the whole universe. But yeah, he's wrong. They're all
And
wrong.
you got
So,
Randall
it's
Carlson
like-
talking about
Everyone is officially retarded.
I'm talking
That's why
about
they
like
can't
some
build it.
high-end like hydrology science, you know, and this idea of like creating a power plant out of it. It's a lot of labor. Suggests like you got to have a lot of bank to do such a thing. So it's like, where's your money coming from, dog? These
That's easy to answer.
lime concrete, if it's something else or whatever. It could be like that. This is a byproduct of a type of mineral washing that could have been done from an aggregate thing.
but
So these could be like as if like tailings or something like that from a wash pool used and then built like that, so that therefore there is no like it's an added, like we have to pay to build it, we have to pay to like gather the materials to fucking do it too. If one of these is paid for, or if it pays for the other thing and it like increases the status of like the region, then that's cool. But like this could have all been done sort of like, I guess, around the time of when the Greeks took over, I guess. And then these could have been like, I guess, more reduced monuments that were like part of the original Egyptian people, and then like under new management they built them up into this kind of way, and sort of trying to build in the old way, and then creating like a spectacle for the eye, so that like you could get the the allegiance of the people, right? This is about leading people, creating cities and stuff like that this time. That's why they made the Parthenon. That's why they kind of build this thing. I also factor in that the idea of like the silver trade was probably something that was in existence at this time or something like that. And the way that this is kind of done is like mining ores, which contain part lead and part silver. When you do this in practice, it's put into an inverted pyramid mold. On the bottom of it will form all the silver. The more and then the slag and lead part will be on top, which is a lot like the unfinished pyramid kind of concept. It's like the top of it is the silver part, or it would be the gold part if it were that you were mining gold. So it might be that all of these pyramid structures that have the unfinished caps are sort of like echoing the same thing, because there's really no more basic way to extract gold from like a furnace or something like that, or any precious metal. So for metal extraction, right? So if you have metal extraction, you basically, if you have that system set up, you can build yourself an empire with that. You know what I mean? Create all the boot buckles and swords that you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need these basic smithing kind of concepts like post Bronze Age, right? So but these places existed like outside of the timeline where that would have been something that we think about. So somewhat of these metal ages has to be wrong.
Bronze Age and all of that even applies. Why does it apply?
I'm saying like, it's like some of the gating that's put in by the historical preservation societies to sort of like tell us a particular story based on like ages of metal technologies. And
yeah, well, and that's presupposing that time is linear. But whatever.
Aging in metal technology is hilarious, because if you know nothing and then you go to a smithing school, what's the aging? Month 1, month 2, month 3.
Well, I mean, if you in your data set talking about Bible stuff, you got people making bulls out of gold and stuff. I'm saying
you don't need multiple generations.
But if they already know about golden bulls by the time there's Moses, right? So like before that, well before that stuff that people knew, like, hey, metals, dude, like
Before the flood.
we rule if we have swords.
It is
bro.
interesting, dude. Something that we
Before
should
the
discuss.
flood, they built
The
these
origin of
things.
man, and it doesn't have and just technology, bro. Like everything, language.
You don't need. You also don't need to impose Keynesian economics on it, right? It doesn't need to like make sense financially in the way finance works now. Because
Nobody
if you
economics.
pre-flood, you're living hundreds of years. You got no draconian situation over your resources. You're not bound to any particular border.
There,
If you can physically do it, and
there's
you've got the
always going
time
to be,
to do it, you can do whatever.
but there will always be Keynesian and draconic forces within any aggregate of like displaced tribal persons, right? And you have those that will need to like, be supply side, right? They need to save for the winter, they're farmers and croppers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Then you have raiders, you know what I mean? Like
Those
they're going to be
people
like
just
your
died. But the people responsible for building things are obviously at the top of the situation. So for them, it's not a matter of economics. It's simply a matter of, can I do it? How do I do it? Let's do it. Simple.
Only until it's built, and then they're into maintenance. Because you can't
I
build.
don't think they had too much time to maintain it. They were flooded pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well,
that's true.
the Egyptians talk about this age before the flood, right? The age of Zeptepi. And the occult, the Masons, like Thelema, and when you go into like modern Blavatsky, they also have the same idea that before the flood, before this great cataclysm of old, that there was this golden age on the earth for a period of time.
Yeah, supposedly Atlantis.
So did we come
As
from
well.
monkey men, right? Homo
I think
erectus,
we're
started
genetically
walking around
modified.
erected, scavenging and foraging for mushrooms, and developed language through glossolalia, which is the most naturalistic or the best naturalistic explanation that I've ever heard from Dennis McKenna, who's a fringe theorist.
Yeah.
But still, it's they did that was a crack at that was a try to figure it out using naturalistic explanation. That's a fair shot. Monkey men that came from the jungles, they climbed down from the trees and started eating mushrooms.
Have you seen the Oliver thing?
And over time developed technology.
You heard about the Oliver, the Humanzi Oliver? You heard about him?
Humanzi Oliver. Wow.
Have you ever? No.
No.
There was this like very human like chimpanzee called Oliver, who was just taken up, bought up. They didn't know his true origins, and it's like he is just the most uncanny. It's like the story was he was too human to not be part human.
Sounds like someone went where they shouldn't belong.
And this whole story slept for about, I don't know, maybe 15 years or something like that in the gap that I knew about it. And then like somebody found him again. Like they did the same monkey and, uncanny, unmistakable Oliver, if I got the name right, the Humanzi. It turns out he's probably just a chimp, but it's like, he's like from some type of subspecies of it, like some pocket in the Congo, allegedly, where there was just like these type of middle creatures. And I think maybe they would have been horrific for some people to know about in a way, or, you know what I mean? Maybe they were just wiped out and there weren't that many of them to start with or something. I don't know. Like you imagine like an early man. Cutting through vines and shit like that. You find these like weird monsters. You know what I mean? You're like, kill them. Don't you think?
I think someone spiked your bong, man.
I just think it's natural for like it's natural for these middle species to kind of get eradicated, to like lose their niche. It's like we see that through like every other type of organism.
Yeah, I don't take the naturalistic approach at all. Like,
I didn't say you did. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I think people start to, once they get to this point, they start to realize how preposterous it is that we would have came from like inanimate matter, or that evolution would have taken place, and we evolved from monkey men.
Yeah.
That's what you get the ancient alien theorists, because then you need panspermia.
You need hair
Something
gel.
seeded us here. Then you get the Anunnaki, or the demigods.
Or aliens changing your DNA around or something.
Yeah, So then the aliens came and tinkered with the monkey men. That's what happened. That's why we're here.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I've been watching like all videos like on this guy. He's like kind of watchable. He gets into all like the different phylums and the evolution tree and all the stuff like that, and these the mistakes in it. The like that there are basically like misassociations from like right, because like something can look a lot like something else, but it tests out like gene wise it's not the same, or they don't know what the hell they're doing in the genetic analysis.
Right, like the way they do junk DNA, they just say, "Oh, we don't understand it, therefore it's junk."
No, it's
And
like
they throw it out of their calculations.
It's like the two like, okay, say like one, like here's 3 different types of snakes, right? One snake is true poison snake. It's the true coral snake, right? Then there's one snake that mimics that snake because it's like, hey, if I look like this others, I don't know how the fuck does something mimic? How do you make it like I'm gonna look like this other snake? How would you even try that? How would you even go? So I don't even know how. Where is the science in that? Like that happen. But anyway, it seems that this is the case, right? There's like a super poisonous one. There's one that's not poisonous and looks like that, and there's one that's like a little bit poisonous, but it looks like that too. So like they say that these
you get
are
that with mushrooms as well.
Like there's a monarch butterfly and there's one that's called a viceroy butterfly. They're subtly different, but one is trying to look like the other one. Like that there's mimicry in nature, or that octopuses can do. Octopuses are the Mac Daddies of the game, with that. Right.
I think that's like a flex of the designer.
It's like, yeah, you can be like a walking spaghetti hologram. I can just be that. Yeah.
What's that Young Thug verse with octopus?
But other bugs caterpillars go out of their ways to kind of like pretend that they're snakes. You know what I mean? Certain types of insects basically go make a whole living looking like another insect that's like, made to scare something else, right? Tigers have like little white spots on the top of their ears that basically, so when they go down for a drink of water, it looks like from afar, is that an eye? Is something looking right at me? No, the tiger, he's playing a trick on you, got some fake eyeballs up there, and he picks his head up and he's ready to pounce. You know what I'm saying? So
that is incredible. I just found that out this year, dude. I never knew that. I seen it floating around the internet.
They got that. Like leopard cubs are born with like a white patch on the back, so like they look a lot like badgers actually when they're small, with like a honey badger. So like other animals try to avoid them more. The ones that present this tuft of white hair that goes away, the ones that present that, they generally like have a higher chance of survival because they look more like a dangerous thing rather than a piece of tasty cake.
Yo, look at that. It looks crazy.
Did you say cake? Cake
Yeah.
sink. That was a sink all week. I say ice holes and cake suckers.
Oh, you're Johnny Dangerously.
Is that from Johnny Dangerously?
Fucking
yeah.
ice holes.
Oh, that. Yeah. No, I just say I just say ice holes.
Ice holes. That's from there too.
Yeah, I just say cake sucking ice holes. I can do it with 4 emojis. Call someone a name and they never get it because they're not smart. If they do get it, they laugh. So it's not as bad.
They say she likes puzzles.
I do like puzzles. I'm a little sphinxy. Or who are you talking about?
Yep, you got it. You seem like a puzzle enjoyer.
Mm-hmm. The Air Force wanted me to be a linguist.
Are you crypto decoder as well?
Yeah, but I can never explain to you a system of how I do it.
Ooh.
Mysterious, like the Sphinx.
Good. X
Yeah.
factor.
I prefer not to eat people though, but I will if I have to.
I find cryptography to be really like I'm like a moth to it sometimes. Or have
Yeah,
been. Yeah. Just
it can be a
super.
rabbit hole though. You
People
have
were
to be able
saying
to climb.
Yo, the
I think
cuneiform script supposed to be cryptography.
Like anything
Probably.
could be if you knew how to interpret what you're looking at.
I think the patterns around us everywhere. Whenever I was on DMT, the world like I'm kind of cluttery because I'm a creative person, you know. So there's like piles of stuff here and there, you know, nothing gross, but it's like cluttery. It's not like neat and tidy. But whenever I was smoking DMT, it all cleaned up, and I could see like it was perfect. It was it was like a sticker, like somebody had just like wiped it away, like, and it all came back. I don't remember when, but probably 20 minutes later. But it was pretty crazy. You guys have any similar experiences? Are you
I
guys
was gonna
all?
say a joke, but I didn't want to be rude. I didn't want to be mean to you.
No, you
I
can be
don't know you
mean
like
to me.
that.
I think it's hilarious when people are mean to me. I don't take it personally. I'm badass.
Well, yeah. So I was advised from a young age not to smoke rocks. That was just.
Yeah, I you know what? I never ever ever smoke crack. I've done almost every other drug that exists, even if it
Nah,
was
but yeah,
under.
it was a joke. It was
Yeah,
a joke. Don't.
I know that's how I deal with sarcasm. Sorry.
Women are crazy enough. What use do they have smoking weed and all this other nonsense?
You can smoke
Smoking
rocks.
alcohol.
You can smoke rocks. You probably would need a laser though. I think to get
Yeah,
like
you
a good
would.
clean hit. Like
Mhm.
you're gonna get a lot of dross otherwise.
It just depends on the kind, I suppose. But I was
I
gonna
like a
say,
sandstone like eats away real quick. I find, but like if you're trying to use like hit it like an igneous, you're talking like you're gonna be breathing a lot of laser dust. I don't know.
yeah, laser dust. Is that
Hey,
what they
do you
make the
smoke
jump ropes
marble?
out
Do you
of?
It's
smoke
not
marble?
good.
Snacks? Do you like smoking marble then?
Smoking marble reds. You know,
Marble red.
I cut a
It's
whole bunch of different rocks for a Flatos show in Colorado or whatever. Like
so. Are
with
you a flat earther?
they were, yeah, like
Oh well, I think it's all the shapes simultaneously.
there were all the
This is why you don't give these creatures drugs like that.
I
Not
hand
good for
collected like 200 rocks of flat
What are you talking?
flat type. I guess you could say good skipping stones if you like,
Oh yeah,
right?
I love those. I find
And with
alien shaped ones.
and then
Like,
yeah, and then I was like, yeah, I'll just laser etch into these with the on the laser plotter, and somehow I'd gotten access to one of these, and then
yeah, that's a really powerful laser. I have a laser engraver, but it wouldn't do that.
it's like it was a 20 watt, and like I had various success. Some it didn't. Some was just basically the laser was just refracted right out. Like it was like, get out of here, you ain't touching me. And another stuff, it was like I'm indelible as hell. Like, so I I thought that was just really interesting. I didn't know that about like just I'm really took like a field sample, if you like, of just different rocks and kind of almost did like an experiment, if you like, almost just about
Selenite
like
selenite is
legibility.
really easy to use, from what I've heard.
Might be,
Selenite,
yeah.
yeah. You can get really big solid crystals too, and they're very very cheap because there's lots of them from Mexico.
Like a good carving stone would be probably good to laser into. So like
Yeah,
you know,
that one would be. It's got
but
long
things that were like
crystals though.
yeah,
Kind
crystal
of brittle.
stuff, it was like it would be real like it would just like heat the shit up and then pop it out, like, and it would be really like craggy and stuff, so you would never get a clean cut out of like a quartz matrix or something. So that was interesting. I didn't think about it that way.
Selenite is like very soft, and it's water soluble, so you could actually like you can cut it with a water stream, like a water laser too. But you don't want to leave it in your fountain because it will just disappear. It's like salt almost, a little bit stronger.
Yeah, so these were like like I guess printing the flat Earth map at like the resolution of a quarter, maybe $50. No, probably a quarter. So trying to get that legibility out of it. Yeah, like not like a lot of rocks failed. I did 200, I think, and I probably got 125 that were good. I gave away a lot of them.
That's cool. I like to leave rocks places too. I used to paint them, leave them places. In Albuquerque.
Yeah, I was like, these flat rocks, or I'll make them because the flat rocks, you know.
Yeah, I like those when they're already a cool shape. Yeah. For sure. I like to find car-shaped rocks and then paint them like cars.
And then they'd have like little sayings underneath them or like a word. Actually, it was just if I could get one word to actually hit, that was another thing too. So that's why more.
I have a bunch of scratch boards that are like single word responses. So that way, whenever I'm in a room full of people that are yelling at each other, I can just pop up my camera and like just start responding. And somebody's paying attention. They get it.
It was like a word. I was like, this word is a flat word, right? It's like level, right? So like flat would be, I don't think I made one that said flat itself, but like they would all be words associated with the vocabulary of it. So there were flat words to go flat words, like a direction, flat words. If that
like
were a direction. Yeah. That was my meta branding concept for this really high effort art project for a Flat Earth art gallery project.
Oh yeah, so you probably know some of the people that I know. Do you know like Balderson and like there's a bunch of different people. The Bears, James True. Like
no,
really,
no.
Yeah, you'd probably find them interesting. They're interesting people. They're all in this area. I don't know where you are, but kind of like Colorado. All the way up to Oregon.
Wow. Like when was I there? Like 2015? 2015, 2016.
Well, they do the conferences where they all get together.
Nice.
And then they bought some land like somewhere back east. I don't remember where exactly. And they all fell apart because of social dynamics or lack thereof. In the functional sense, anyways. There's plenty of social dynamics.
Yeah, I think just generally in this topic range, I think this is like the least organizable people that you could have. The most least organizable people.
The most amount, the least.
Like
quality.
They cannot. You can't organize. It's like it's like trying to get like cats to live in like a condominium and stuff like that and have jobs.
I'm a
it's
professional cat herder. Oh my god, I'm a double Leo. Yeah.
Whoa.
Taurus moon. I've got Mercury in Virgo.
Oh.
It makes sense if you know astrology. I just figured this out not that long ago.
Hit us with it. What you got?
It makes sense.
I almost know my own astrology.
Yeah, astrology.
I don't know.
It makes sense.
What's your zodiac sign?
I think
confusion makes perfect sense. Yes, of course.
Well, and I'm a Leo rising, but so that means I got a Leo sun and Leo rising. So the sun was rising whenever I was born, and that was the last quarter of the moon in Taurus. My mom is a Taurus. My oldest daughter is a Taurus. So I'm pretty grounded there because I'm also triple fixed signs. Leo, Taurus. They're all fixed.
You're grounded in the sky, yeah?
Yes, my feet are in outer space. They say my head was in the clouds, but no, my feet are.
You are confused. just because you put words that are actually words in a sequence doesn't mean you're making any sense.
Oh, well, just because you can't dance.
It's all right. I mean, I don't subscribe to astrology myself. I was just wondering what you had.
There's also like physical traits that are supposed to be displayed for the rising sign. So like for Leo, it's supposed to be that you have wavy hair or big or expressive eyes. Any of that work?
Yeah, I have long straight hair that does not do anything but is straight, but it's pretty long.
Others, I think, was it like is it Pisces is supposed to be like got like great legs or something like that. They're like all the signs like hit the different like body centers. There's something for rising.
Yeah, I don't know
Like,
anything about that. I think that's a step too far because there's such a variety of people and you can have such a variety of combos. It's not just the 12 signs. Like it's because that's like your horoscope. It's
Or also like so that's also it says that the Leo ascendant is also athletic.
yeah, I would say I'm
Are you strong?
more meant. I am strong, but it comes from hard work, not sports. I like probably I spin my bow staff and I do yoga and I swim and I hike. But
You have a bow staff. I mean, that's for girl. That's girl strong at least.
yeah, you can even see how
on the Girl
funny it
Scout.
is whenever I was spinning it in my house, which, like I said, is cluttered, and I have tons of tchotchkes. It was really fun.
Is that no?
I
It's
didn't.
not Donatello. Who's the bow wielder of the Ninja?
That's what was important, and it was fun. But I think that's got more views.
Donatello, you're right.
But I've also got
Nice. Thanks for the check. Thanks for the Ninja Turtle trivia check. Appreciate it.
What was it? What did he say? He was
Donatello, the bow wielding of the 4 Ninja Turtles,
yeah.
who are middle aged at least by now, if not in an elderly turtle home. Probably should be retired from.
I do yoga, but I only do tree pose, and I do it on each of my feet, like one at a time, and I do toe lifts. 5. I have to do 5 of them without falling over, and then I do the other side, 5 of them without falling over, and that's how I get centered every day.
Grounded. Well, what's funny about being grounded? You've probably not taken. You've not. This guy's not taking his socks off outside.
Organized
but 10 years.
confusion. That's hilarious, man.
He's not.
You know what? That's the
Imagine
Mercury
going through
Virgo.
all that effort to make.
It's not even any effort. It's not any effort. I mean, it's like I can. It doesn't take that long. I'm pretty good at it.
Well, I mean, also there's like a whole there's like martial arts styles that like basically define you as the tree. Anyway, I don't know if that.
Yeah.
matters.
Well, what's really weird is my mom would stand with her foot on her knee, like when she was pregnant with me, and she said she didn't do it afterwards. So I was probably like already like expanding my pattern out into her. You know.
I think Elisha has alleviated himself of the conversation.
Yeah, that's okay.
Have to consider the input.
He'll be back.
Well, things like we take energy from the sun. You know what I mean? It's got to stand upright. I think those are important things. Like orthopedically and structurally, you know, it's always good.
Well, to light, I don't know if we want to lighten the mood a little bit. I was gonna say, I heard like you're supposed to like expose all of your skin to the sun, like so even the odd angles. I heard that's very important and it's enlightening.
Right. It could be very.
Just don't want to get a sunburn in any sensitive spots.
No, some places don't usually get any sun. Yeah, it's a good.
And maybe they should.
They would normally if you were just a creature out in the let's say, right? So
yeah, I'm pretty sure mine do anyways because I go camping and hike like rock hunting and there's no toilets out there, so you have to be an animal.
Weird. Like I used to get a lot of cool stuff out of what they call like swales or like cricks or just dry riverbeds. I don't know. Like
I call them washes. They're washes.
That's what I meant. That's the thing. They call them. I'm using California term. Sorry. Yeah, washes.
Cool. Are you in California still?
No,
I traveled.
I'm all the way in New Jersey now. In my homeland.
New Jersey.
It's my homeland.
Oh, that's
my native
my friend Kaylin lived, I think, in Newport, New Jersey. She's out here though. She's in Arizona now. She travels.
I think my time in Taos, New Mexico, I was like pretty happy with that.
Yeah,
area.
Taos is kind of generic and it's been taken over by baby boomers. But There's some interesting stuff there. All the art here is Southwestern style, and I'm an abstract artist, so my stuff's a little weird.
Yeah.
Not
well,
really.
At least that makes sense.
Yeah.
You got all the James Joyce Collective Unconscious. Probably you're into some Carl Jung. Probably.
Oh yeah, archetype. Oh, I'm a tarot reader, so that's what I do for my job.
Okay, so you're into the human psyche.
Mm-hmm.
The
Well,
tarot is
mostly-
very interesting. I feel like because it's I think it's almost like calendaric in some kind of weird way. Like
Well,
I
and
think
it
it
teaches you a system that is very easy to transfer the foundational onto other subjects.
and like really any just group. I don't know, man. Like I guess the larger mathematical idea of like a set of this many of like I forget how many is it in a tarot deck? Is it not 60?
72.
72. Okay, so then that's got its own reference of
There's 22 major arcana, like the
Yep.
Hebrew alphabet.
I just mean like the number 72 in its own like has its own numerical repercussions, you know.
It's 9.
Who got emotional?
Who?
Mm,
You?
Not-
Did you?
not
somebody,
us.
Somebody booted me, apparently.
Oh, we did. I don't know.
No, we
were-
thought you left because we were talking about stuff that you were like mad about.
No,
or
in the middle of my mockery, some mod kicked me from the room.
Oh well,
Oh, well.
I hope they don't. I hope they weren't defending me because that's unnecessary. I'm unoffendable and I can prove it.
No, you're just hilariously confused. It's okay.
If you say so.
It's just
You don't know that.
unsubstantiated personal attacks. It's cool that you just lob them over for no reason, but
It's fine.
I don't know.
It-
It's just yeah, I guess
I'm just reflecting, anyways.
yeah.
Can you
yeah.
Can you hear
go
my
ahead.
smile? I was being quiet and I was like, "Can you hear my smile?" I'm stoned. Forgive me.
The differences in like what I did find in I wish that there was a greater variation of what I did find. I found so many different types of starlight that it just like made my head kind of hurt. It's like how many different qualities and types of it there are there, and like the odd things that I'd find, and the different rock types that I would find it in. Yeah,
there's
like
so many different kinds.
there's like
And what
all
they
these like
I find
I guess
fossils everywhere.
like 3 to 5 different grades of I guess shale,
Uh-huh.
all the way down to where you call it like a schist.
Or a mica. There's like a mica shale.
I could like pull it apart like a
you
like a
pull it
piece of
apart like
paper,
sheet.
like
Yeah. Except
And
for it's
then-
shiny.
and I'd
It's
be like,
like a
oh,
little-
there's like fucking like 100 little teensy garnets in here, and I could like pick them out with a dental
Yeah.
tool if I wanted to.
Disassembling minerals.
I did.
I just usually do it with a hammer or a rock saw.
I found later I'd find like very large garnets, I guess, or the largest I'd found like just on the ground, just in a
Yeah.
field. Probably
I have a really nice one.
I'm glad like nobody shot me. And they were like, "Get off my land!" You know what I mean? And I'm glad that didn't happen.
Mine is bigger than a 12-sided dice, and it's got a baby little nub growing on the side of it too. That's just a little tiny one.
A baby nub. You should be able
I
to
have-
find yourself like a giant ass magnet and be able to like a whole because like all the garnets that I found, I had hard drive magnets. I was able to stick them to it. So
I imagine the ones that I have that were like they're called rainbow garnets. There's like a mine on the other side of the Sandia, and my friend like owns part of it, and so he just lets us wander around, and I can get as many as I want of those. They're like high in hematite content. It's like almost fumed onto the garnet. It's like so it has like a rainbow metallic but very dark finish, shiny.
So it's weird, like all the transforms that have to happen to the original material to get to even pop garnets out, right? Because you have to already have like all these layers of stuff where you got the precursors for, unless the garnets are some kind of fossilized creature that just looks like a garnet.
No,
then,
no.
No, I don't think so. But
they're rhombic dodecahedrons, and that would be really weird too.
It would be weird. I'm curious, like the formation, yeah, like a amethyst. You'll only find in these like giant pocket nodes. You know what I mean? Like, and they're kind of different than I guess quartz crystal formations are. You know, they're not like as long, or like it's unusual to get like a scepter sized crystal of amethyst.
I don't know.
And they're always in like these almost like pod like look like big ass banana pods or something like that. And I'm like, oh mate.
On the inside of a geode, there's lots of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Snax, you know those coastal formations, those hexagonal, like long rock things. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Have you ever noticed that quartz is like that on a small scale?
It's not. It's not necessarily like that at all.
It's like slices of
maybe it depends the type, because I have a piece that's like that.
Well, because like quartz won't just like form to a constraint property where it's like every stalk of a crystal is going to be of the same diameter, but the basis for all the what is it, like basaltic, like whatever.
And the 5 point or 5.
I guess that depends where you find
it's a 5 or 6 alternating tiling that it basically presents, and then the only thing to the basaltic formation of this is apparently it has to be within this like hydrogen rich environment or something like that when it forms, and then it kind of does that thing where it's like the Play-Doh Fun Factory and it just like squirts out like in this kind of way. So I don't know exactly how it's made. I mean, I've never seen anybody demonstrate like a synthetic process that replicates it, but
they have quartz. Do they use actual cut quartz in like watch faces, or is that synthetic?
It almost doesn't even make sense to me that it could be like that. It almost seems like it must be. It makes more sense to me that it's like a mineralized something, or that this is like an ancient benothermal vent or something like that. Because it's the only way, like an ancient gas, like Devil's Tower. Like there's certain. You're supposed to like not go hiking up there certain times of the year because there's like outgassing of the mountain and you can pass out and die. Have you read that?
It's up by Yellowstone. I haven't read anything about that, no.
But like there's fissures where like these gases are coming out of. Seem to be the places where these rocks formed out of ancient, so I don't know is it chicken or the egg, but
yeah, well the egg was definitely first because it was before birds.
A lot of these mountains also like gas too, like what is that let's see if we can get NASA guy in here. But that one with the shadow on the clouds of the mountain, and they're like, yeah, see, it's around the sun's going around the Earth, and it's causing a. I did a painting.
It was with the sun and the moon, and it was like there was a hill, and I did a reflection of it, and it was the yin yang. It was the shadow moving, looked like a yin yang. Yeah. All in olive green and gray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I used to do a lot of doodles.
Cartoons or just like little sketches?
Oh, like flat earthy, it's like a like kind of diagram. I don't know, like I would draw like the AE sort of out of my, just try to draw it from memory, or just try to draw it from like the way I thought the geometries were going to make sense. I'm pretty good at doodling anyway.
Cool. Yeah, but, I was not, and it's.
But then, like, just trying to like imagine, like, oh yeah, there's like all this air volume that's just like breathable stuff, and I like grew up here, right, like at the shore of sea level, basically, and then through my flat earthing, I actually got higher elevation all the way into the high desert and stuff like that. I lived in Penasco for about a year. or something like that. It's about like 12.5 or 13,
Yeah, and
something
we're
like that.
We're at, even in the valley here, we're at over 15.
I seen ice bending out of the gutter, like when it snows, like the ice, like just almost like doing plastic shit. I was like, wow, that's like I've never seen ice ever do that before.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if it's the high altitude that does that, or that was just like
we don't get a lot of weather. We don't have a lot of that going on. I mean, even up in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
The river Grand was like totally dry. Like a month ago, it was completely dry. You could walk across it without even getting wet or damp.
So I was to go like to the hot springs down there in Taos.
My favorite is at Montezuma. There's the hot springs at El Porvenir. I went camping in El Porvenir, which is the future, which I found out later, which is cool because I went camping in the future and I brought back rocks from the future.
There's this place that was called the Indian Waters of Long Life. There were like these petroglyphs there. It was like I don't know if that was a scam. There was like a whole a story about this like settler who had like established this thing like to kick the Indians out or something like that. There was like a whole curse of his gold that was buried up in the ravine. It was wild. And like they used to have just like a place midway, like in when people were pioneering across, this was like they had to cross the river, so this was their crossing, and they had like all these hot springs and a couple rooms for privacy.
Yeah, they had a little Airbnb or a little B&B.
Yep.
Ranch B&B.
Yep.
Yeah. My family has been here since. They came from North Carolina. They landed like late 1600s. And they traveled west, like intermixing with like French Creoles and Germans and Cherokee people. And then they were in Tom Green, Texas. And then they came up through Silver City and Chloride and then up north. And we've been here like in New Mexico. I think my family was like trying to avoid being part of the United States. They just wanted to like.
There was this crazy mineral that I found, or it was like a gemmy blue green, very deep, almost like a dioptase type of rock. I want to say, but maybe I'm. It had a
transparent, translucent, or opaque, or shiny.
Yeah, transparent, translucent. Yeah. And it was only found in this one place, apparently, like up in this mountain, and like it was like this spirit stone for the people there. Like they put it all up on grave sites and stuff like that. Like, but it only came in this one place, and I never did get to find this source because like somebody had told me that they'd like quadded up in this area, and it was just packed with all this stuff. But there's like this one amazing deposit I never got to find out there.
Sounds like it might be like purple kyanite or silver kyanite.
I might have a sample of it somewhere.
I have a long piece that it was actually much longer. It broke and it looks like a scalpel. It's actually really sharp. I called it my psychic scalpel. It's probably a good thing it broke.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
It pierced through dimensions and stuff like that.
Accidentally, that was. Well, there is a governor to the universe. It doesn't happen. So, but it's like an algorithm. It doesn't interact with.
I guess it was like towards the fall. I guess I was out living in California in the high desert. It's really dry, super dry. And as it got colder, and somebody like left me like a sleeve of these styrofoam cups in this like plastic sleeve, and cool. I think maybe I kicked it or something like that. It was at night, right? And I had like no lights on. And I kicked it, and the whole thing lit up like an electric jellyfish, and I nearly fucking shat myself, you know?
What happened? How did... Oh, because of the static.
It's like spontaneous coronal field effect just happened on that.
Yeah, that's probably what happened whenever I was carrying that big sheet of tempered glass, and it just like evaporated and landed in a pile on the floor. I was like touching anything. I wasn't bumping into anything. I was just pivoting in the middle of the room, and it just went, and it like literally my hands were just like hanging there in the air, like what just happened?
Yeah, it looked like a fire, kind of like just a blue, like a
Yeah,
blue low, very low luminance. But I mean, in the dark, it it was pretty. It was pretty
could have been
startling.
maybe it was a frequency explosion.
I was able to kick it one more time and release a little bit more of the jellyfish effect, and then it ran out of static. And I didn't feel like messing around with it after that. But that
That's
condition
pretty cool.
never happened again.
Well, you can do that with quartz. You can compress it. That's why they use it in watches, I think. But there's this thing that's called lightning stones that the natives had. And there's like, they would take 2 crystals and they would smooth them all out, or they find them in the wash and they were like already smooth. And then you rub them together and it would make light in the dark, like if they were in complete darkness.
You found these?
I found one. But yeah, I asked my friend what they were. He's Navajo.
Oh. Huh.
And he told me what they were. He was like, that's very cool. I found actually a perfect one of those spear tips that from the people, I forget what their name is. But it's like the most famous spear tips. It's the name of a city somewhere in New Mexico. Clovis Point. Thank you, file guy. I have a file guy that lives in my head.
Well, that's helpful.
Oh yeah. It wasn't always so organized. I also have a backdoor bouncer. It's my second job for my ego. Because it was bored and annoying.
It's I have like a lot of regions of knowledge that are like I can't like shift out of one and jump into the other. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, like I can't even. Jazza knows what this is about.
They're all connected though.
I swear they are by me, but it's like, yeah, we're thinking about, just jazz piano players and just Dutch oil painters or something like that. It's like, it gets messy. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to get with it all. And then nobody cares about those things anyway. Like that's just extracurricular activity that I'm doing. Like that's survival, not important to know those things for sure.
Yeah. Well, but I know lots of things that are survival important. Probably enough. I still learn things like that. I'm kind of like I'm an anarchist, I guess I would say. I'm more like into self-responsibility. It's not like anarchy, the propagandized version. It's more the self-reliance. But I'm also a team player.
All right, we're filling in your character sheet.
Oh yeah.
And how many hit points? We'll start you.
I don't know. I don't have my dice. I don't have my dice. I used to play White Wolf games. We did mage though.
I found it interesting that there are like magnetic crystals out there, like that garnet is a naturally occurring magnetic crystal. But then also when I was in California, I was like, man, I have all these magnets, and then I started like pulling like all the furry iron out of the soil, and I was like, man, this is the shit that's been cutting my feet up like crazy. This like coarse, like sharp iron shards, like there was a Terminator war, and they all were blown to smithereens. And and it's like, I'm putting it back together, buddy. I like rehydrated it with some hydrochloric acid or something like that. Just some regular muriatic from the hardware store.
I don't put that through an aluminum sieve. My ex did that.
And I just kind of like watched it bubble away, and it became this color and stuff like that. And it eventually like it all crystallized down, and there were like, all the iron was like at the bottom, and then I was left with these like little crystals, little yellow crystals, and I don't know what the hell they were. Just whatever's left over, but they were magnetic, and I was like, wow, there's like sort of paramagnetic crystals I made. I was like, wow.
Oh, that'd be sulfur, wouldn't it?
Like a whole bunch of
Say that
muriatic
again?
acid never happens in nature. So it's really weird that like all these, changes do happen with all of the different minerals and rocks and shit, like just all these chemical changes take like a long ass time. That's why they can be like, oh, you got like hematite 1, hematite 2, hematite 3. Like you can see like with different chemical transforms, as a rock hound, right?
It's the beauty of the agility.
Totally.
Geology, big old bitch, right?
It's just how much money they can charge for it, and you don't have it. And you need hematite 4.
Yeah.
But the hematite even happens. Like, how does that even go? Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I would love if I could just have like a time lapse, just see it happening like on a larger time scale. Can't zoom out that far yet.
But that like all of the amethyst kind of fits like the same kind of deposit is weird to me. And it just seems more like, oh, there was a type of plant that had this shape and then this cavity gets filled, fossilized, mineralized, and then crystallized and stuff like that. This purple is a result of like some kind of color of what was already in there. Like why
Yeah,
are
I
there
have a red one.
Yeah.
I have a red garnet. It
Yeah.
came from Burma, I think, where they have like rubies. They mine rubies, but it's like kind of orangey, rusty, and it's like really, because amethyst is actually quartz with something else in it.
Yeah.
Burma, did you put that through customs?
Are you low, Jazz, or
Yeah, you were low. I can hear you.
like it feels like really like against my instinct to turn you up,
I'm up as high as I can go, my bro.
I can hear
Okay.
you now. You got closer to your microphone, probably.
Oh yeah, that's just the low birth dumb fucker. I couldn't figure that out.
What is your accent? Are you
Is drunk? Is what I think it is. He's
New
he's drunk.
Zealand or
Yes,
Australia?
No, you got it first time.
Yeah, I have a friend from New Zealand, so I know the difference. I was that's why I asked, because it just kind of sparked up. Yeah, cool. I like New Zealand. There's lots of sheep there.
But then, like, how is Pazza from New Zealand though? Because he does not sound like, is he like an ex somewhere else, or?
I thought Pazza was from the UK.
He sounds like he's from like Ireland.
Yeah, I have a friend that's Serbian that lives in New Zealand right now too. I have two friends.
Serbian.
Yeah, he's Serbian. He was born in Serbia and now he's a New Zealander. He's been there for a long time though. He actually goes. He has a avatar of Nikola Tesla, which is a weird coincidence because that's what you guys were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen his avatar before actually.
Yeah, he goes by Angry Casper.
Well, yeah, right.
He's very smart.
Tesla was from Serbia. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's the reincarnation. I don't know. But he's pretty smart. Smart guy. I actually even included New Zealand into my other song that I wrote too. I said it. Get Elvis.
Oh, Santa Fe pizza, deep dish.
Where'd you go?
Pizza delivery, probably. Oh, Santa Fe pizza, deep dish.
Where'd you go?
Pizza delivery, probably. Ah, man, if you're gonna be the only person here, I actually do have to turn you up. I'm gonna coffee to deal with this anguish.
Yeah, no, absolutely. fucking Jinxie's here. Unmute me from 24/7. That'd be nice. You're back.
So quiet. So quiet.
What do you mean I'm quiet? Or it's just quiet?
Are you guys speaking telepathically?
I'm not sure.
We probably are, but we don't consciously know it.
That's the thing. We don't know.
Yeah. The Tao. I think nothing doesn't exist because we named it and it made.
Be quiet, he's back.
Shh.
Hi, hello.
We're gonna
How are
get
ya?
lucky.
G'day, hi,
I got
how
like
You're talking about the way, the Tao.
the Tao. Yes,
This is the way.
it
The
is.
we.
And
Whatever
the
you're same shit.
the nameless Tao is the substance, whatever it is that is unnamed.
What do you mean by the dowel? Like dowel that holds furniture together? Or
No, that's a little wooden rod.
The gel.
Yeah.
The jowl. Or my
jowl.
jaw.
like a glue?
Holds it together.
Or
Or sometimes it's a light
thanks to our scullions together with.
Are you going to take it to there? Like, sound like a pirate?
Well,
You could
I
totally-
don't know where to take it, but
It's there, wherever it is.
it's there, it's everywhere.
Yes.
If
Have you ever
Arwen were here, he could play 3 dwarves, an elf. As Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
I like the dryads. They're my favorite. I'm a metaphorist though, so
Are they They're not playable, but they're in the Monsters Compendium, Volume 2. No,
yeah,
I'm just
that's
joking.
D&D.
I don't know. It might be.
That's D&D. You can also do the White Wolf games. They have them in the fairy book, the Changeling, because that's where all the
There's the whole fairy book stuff. Yeah, That's like D&D for.
Well, it's
not for
better
girls,
than
but I know.
it's better than D&D. It's actually just it's really crazy because like the Mage book is like so many years old now.
Actually,
but
the fairy thing seemed like it was the comparison part for like the vampire role playing games almost.
Yeah, well, they were all connected. It was all the same world. That all the characters existed. Yeah.
Okay, you guys, just very quickly, if we're going to talk about D&D, which I think you mean...
Roll a 1d4 for initiative, Jazza.
Or Dungeons
I don't
and Dragons.
have my dice.
If you're talking about Dungeons...
You failed evade. Okay, let's roll for traps. 1d3.
That sort of genre of games I'm just going to have to let you know, if I haven't already, I probably have, that I'm an orc.
Satanic? Oh, you're an orc. Oh, I love orc. So
yeah, he claims to be an extra in Lord of the Rings as an orc.
The last movie, is it Return of the King? I'm an orc.
Yeah.
And never seen it. Hate those sort of movies.
The truth is, he's still Orkward.
White rhinoceros.
Yeah, I dig Orkward.
He's still Orkward.
Yeah. Are they toward or are they untoward?
I couldn't
Sealy?
give two fucks. Really.
Sealy or unsealy? If you had to guess.
Or unfeely.
Yeah.
Orcs have no leadership. They've got very poor regimentation in their units, and I think that's why they failed in the army.
They have to live underground, though. That takes some special stuff to live underground.
It takes a special type of gross.
It just takes some good claws, the white rhinoceros nose I had on my nose to really get in there and fucking dig a tunnel and shit.
It's
And
better than the mole people or the ant people. Jeez, those guys are ugly.
and oh yeah, no, we're ugly motherfuckers. Don't get me wrong. That's why I'm single.
Well, there's a certain beauty in ugliness, depending. It can be grotesque.
Well, the female orcs are way more uglier than me, so that's why I'm still single.
So the males are the fairer of the two.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but there must be a reason why they're all extinct now, because there's none left.
They're not extinct. They're just invisible.
Are they like Komodo dragons, where they're like kind of born men, but they eventually become women?
Nah,
Or something?
I don't know. I
none
resonate
of
with
that.
reptiles a little bit.
It's weird that you guys resonate or brought that up. That's a strange thing.
Yeah, we have odd resonance powers.
Yeah, we're basically probably doing a double reflective bevel edged mirror gazing.
Shit.
Yeah, it's all happening in real time.
Yeah,
It is.
That's the kooky part.
it is, right? But it's magical, isn't it?
What else could you call it?
It's actually quite beautiful because it's like you guys are both swiping right on each other. It's quite beautiful to listen to.
No, I'm engaged, so.
Well, that's never stopped anyone today's day and age.
If he was an Asian lady, then maybe, or
Close enough.
any.
No,
Yeah.
no. Just it's rare that I even get to have a non-argumentative interaction here. So like anything beyond that is just like way out of.
Well, I
way
love
out of
how
swing to
everybody's
me.
just letting it happen and not like. Yeah.
Wait,
Interject. I mean, I don't mind people interjecting, but.
Zephyr,
Say that
whereabouts
again?
are you from?
Albuquerque, in the South Valley.
Albuquerque.
Actually, I'm outside of the city limits in the South Valley,
Albuquerque. Gotcha.
and I'm a
Get
tarot
your-
reader.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
I'm gonna have to take off in about 5 minutes because I have to go pick up my fiance from work.
Does he know that you think there is flat?
What?
I think she's not said that
Oh,
What?
per se. So,
What
is
do
that
I
your way of
say?
asking? Is that your way of asking? That's his. He's like a shy asker. Just
Well, just
accuse
ask.
him. Start.
I'm sorry. I'm really shy when I talk to girls. Do you think there is flat?
I think it's all the shapes
All the shapes.
simultaneously. So my
that is-
paradigm is vast enough to encompass that paradigm. Yes.
It's just so you know that I think it is all the shapes which combine into one shape, a sphere.
Well, I don't know. I think higher dimensional shapes are kind of hard to nail down because they're constantly moving around dynamically, folding in and out of themselves.
And if they are moving around all together, like if you get a square of pastry and a triangular pastry and a rectangular pastry.
Yeah, if you lived in a four dimension
and you move it all around, guess
sphere,
what it
it'd be
makes?
in a
Like baklava?
shifting
Sorry,
chocolate
man, mate.
eclair.
Yeah.
Baklava, donuts.
It makes a chocolate sphere. Jeez,
Be
sorry.
a bonbon.
Just your cream filling becomes your exterior. Now you have an internal of the exterior. Now you have
Oh no, that's the
four-dimensional-
eyeball when you flatten it out and put it in the freezer.
Do you start picking up on other people's accents whenever you're hanging around
This is
somebody that has an
terrible.
accent? I do that
I
when
think
it
it's
annoys
why
the hell out of me.
I don't know. I wish there's like a medication. Something.
People think I'm making fun of them, and I'm not.
No, sorry, Zephyr, did you just say if I pick up on people's accents?
Yeah, do you? Do you do it too? What does that sound like?
I accidentally
He
do.
tries to. You'll like fall into. Oh, maybe you do kind
Nobody
of.
will never be as popular.
If there's enough Southerners here, he'll start to twang out. You can't help it.
Je parle français. Je tous les langues français pour 12 ans à l'école.
Oh, je m'appelle Jazzaconda.
Quoi?
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Un, deux, trois, ça.
No. No. Okay, you know less than
Hamli
me.
Poncole.
Ooh,
Let's
your R's are
play.
bad.
Thank you.
You have to get the R on the back of your tongue.
It's like it's not there.
It's like uru, uru.
That's language.
I don't have the extra gene riffle for whatever.
Yeah, the tongue,
like-
the tongue ruffle. It's like a
Like,
tongue ruffle. Or
Some
something.
people like they're just like so excited they just like start rolling R's, and I'm just like, damn, like you're excited as hell. But that's
roll
not
or
me.
Spanish roll R. Cut my boots.
Okay, check my Japanese. Uchi ni sanchi. I can't remember the rest.
Konnichiwa.
Go.
Konnichiwa.
Roku. Hichi,
America Dino.
Hachi. Ku. Ju.
Ohio.
Yeah, that's good.
Juni. Jusan. Jushi.
Oh shit, that's good.
Fuck around up to 14, dog.